It's the night. Believe that. Believe in yourself. Believe in the guy beside you. And let's ride, baby. Ride on 3. 1, 2, 3, ride.
Denver's Mike Anderson getting the Broncos primed for kickoff. Welcome back live to the NFL Today here on CBS, where more people watch the NFL than on any other network. Time to take some quick hits. As always, guys, you buzz in only if you disagree. Dan, we begin with you. Bill Belichick and Mike Shanahan have won 5 of the last 8 Super Bowls. So who owns the coaching edge tonight?
Well, when you think about the divisional round of playoffs, you should say that Mike Shanahan has the coaching edge because he's playing at home. But you look at both of these guys. Shanahan, last time they won a playoff game, a guy named John Elway was there playing for him. And you look at Bill Belichick, they got a guy that got 3 Super Bowl rings, and Tom Brady. So I think the New England Patriots and Belichick have the edge because of Tom Brady.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
I knew you were going to do it. Go ahead.
I simply disagree for the simple fact Mike Shanahan record head-to-head against Bill Belichick since he's been there, 7-3. And they are at home, and the Broncos do not lose at home in the playoffs. They're 11-2. I take this, Boomer, and when you see me on the sideline, do this.
Forget about it.
Sideline, but you got to just calm down a little bit, man.
All right, Boomer, who's going to have more yards tonight, Corey Dillon or Mike Anderson?
Shannon, you're going to love this. I think it's going to be Mike Anderson simply because they're going to be more committed to the run because they're going to want to protect Jake Plummer and because Corey Dillon is nursing a calf injury, a high ankle sprain, whatever you want to call it. He has sucked it up over the last few weeks, but he is not the same Corey Dillon. So you'll see Mike Anderson get more yards.
That don't have nothing to do with us.
Shannon, in addition to you, how hard are the Colts rooting for the Broncos tonight?
You know what? You got to be careful what you root for because then also you root for this team to win. You must go out and take care of your business also. But all things being equal, the Indianapolis Colts have lost the past 2 years to the New England Patriots in the playoffs, and so I think they're probably at home right now, Greg. Come on, Denver. Come on, Snake.
All right, Dan, your turn. All 4 quarterbacks, including Carson Palmer, making their playoff debuts, lost last weekend. What's that mean for Rex Grossman and the Bears tonight?
Well, I guess you would say that the odds are against him, and you think about him in playoff experience. Well, he doesn't have any playoff experience. He doesn't have that much regular season experience either. He's only started 7 games, only one time this year. So I guess the odds are against him. But you know what he has? He's got a great defense. A great defense. If he doesn't turn it over, he's going to have a real good chance of winning.
All right. Boomer. Did the Bengals' Chad Johnson take a swing at his head coach, Marvin Lewis, during halftime of the game last week, or didn't he?
Well, it all depends on who you talk to. A couple of my sources feel like that he did. But then I talked to Chad Johnson a couple days after. He denied that anything happened. So I think it's all in the eye of the beholder here. But I do know one thing. Whatever happened at halftime of that game basically had a profound effect on them in the second half against the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's why they lost.
My eyes beholding you, so what do you think?
I'm thinking something happened pretty significant. That's what I believe.
He's fast becoming a problem, isn't he?
Who, Shannon?
No, well, yeah, that's a given. But Chad Johnson, too.
I don't know if he's becoming a part. I don't know if he's going to. I like Chad Johnson. I think he's a fun guy. He tries to be fun. He tries to say the right things. I think the emotion side of him gets the best of him. So I think there was definitely a problem in that locker room.
You think?
I think.
All right, Boomer. What does new Kansas City coach Herman Edwards want to keep quiet about his former Jets family?
Well, you know, he left. He left them standing there. He had 2 years left in his contract. He doesn't want to go back and discuss all the reasons why he wanted to get out of there. So I can understand why he does not want to talk about New York, and he wants to look forward into Kansas City. As I said last week, I really don't blame him for leaving after what happened on January 2nd with all those coaches firing. It's all about, you know, long-term survival in the NFL for coaches, not a lot of that.
I agree with you. I agree with you, Boomer.
Thank you,
That don't happen often, trust me.
Shannon, one final quick hit. Tom Brady and 14 of his teammates have won 10 straight playoff games. They're going to break your record of 12 in a row?
Greg, I most certainly hope not. I know I'm supposed to be objective, but I really would like the Broncos to put an end to this thing tonight and leave me on top. I worked very hard for these 12 wins in a row, Greg. So with that
How many other guys playing on that team besides you?
I went to Baltimore and got me some more wins, too. I went just in Denver. But they don't have 12. I'm the only one that has 12. Boomer.
Consecutive.
Okay. You know how hard that is?
I know how hard it is.
Man.
To play for the Bengals, the Cardinals, the Jets.
No, I would have none if I played with them teams.
This is like Ringling, brother.
Triangle, right, Boom?
Let's take a look at the 4 finalists for the Wachovia Uncommon Performance of the Year. We'll start Back in week number 3 of the NFL season, the Chargers' LaDainian Tomlinson racked up 192 yards, rushed for 3 touchdowns, and passed for another.
I picked that one.
In week 10, the Bears' Nathan Vasher returned a missed field goal, 108 yards, the longest play in NFL history. Week 13, the Dolphins' Chris Chambers caught 15 passes, 238 yards, including the gamer with 6 seconds to play. And in week 15, the Giants' Tiki Barber carried 29 times, 220 yards, and 2 scores. You can vote on the Wachovia Uncommon Performance of the Year by logging on to CBSSportsline.com. We will announce the winner on the AFC Championship Game edition of the NFL Today. Stay tuned. We'll be back with more when we continue live from New York on the NFL Today.
Still ahead, Tom Brady tells Dan about the most challenging season of his career. And Shannon has the story of the Denver defense that's had a change of attitude to match its change of altitude. The NFL Today is sponsored by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of Super Bowl 40, McDonald's, and by Chevrolet, an American revolution.
Welcome back live to the NFL Today as we get you set for New England, winners of the AFC, and Denver, the AFC West champions in their divisional playoff contest. Denver's defense finished second in the league against the rush, allowing only about 85 yards a game on the ground. And Shannon, remarkably, a year ago, 4 of the Broncos' defensive linemen were playing for Cleveland.
You're exactly right, Greg. At this point last year, they were all home watching playoffs on television. But in Denver, they've learned to play well as a unit, and their success up front has improved the Broncos' defense as a whole. So credit Mike Shanahan for taking a risk on 4 guys in a bad rep in Cleveland.
Top is so much better than the bottom. He is sacked. Watch out. So much better. Better.
When you found out you guys were going to be traded to the Denver Broncos, what was the first thing that went through your mind?
It was one of the most disappointing days of my life because I envisioned retiring in Cleveland and trying to win a Super Bowl for the city. But once the trade happened and it was Denver Broncos, I knew it was only good things to come out of this.
First pick in the draft in 2000, you were the 3rd pick in the draft in 2001. Why weren't you guys able to reach your potential in Cleveland?
There's a lot of responsibility. It comes with being a high draft pick. You know, like I said, our attitude now, you know, we left that in Cleveland. The members of the Denver Broncos here, and we're going to do what we can to help the team win.
The team wasn't winning, and in order to find a way out of pointing fingers at specific people, they went after specific players. And that's what it all boiled down to, and paint the image of us being bust in this NFL.
A lot of people thought that they couldn't play in Cleveland, but they want to come to a team that's year in and year out, that's going to be competitive, going to challenge for a Super Bowl. And this is what Mike Shanahan is going to do to get us to a Super Bowl.
I told these guys, I looked at the way you played, and we got a supporting cast with our linebackers and secondary, that if you do your job, we can be one of the best defenses in the National Football League. So I was hoping these 4 guys could come in and give us the depth we needed and leadership that I thought we needed, and they've done everything we've asked them to do.
When you're in an organization and you're not winning, sometimes you lose focus. When you have a fresh start and you have an opportunity to come to an organization that expects to go to the Super Bowl every year, it really does take your mindset to another level.
When you don't have no so-called pressure and you're just playing, having fun, I think that's been the biggest advantage. I can just be free and just play ball.
This year, you finished 4th in points allowed, you finished 2nd in turnover margin. How much of that can be attributed to these 4 guys coming in?
You know, pretty much everything, man. It all starts up front. When your defensive line can get pressure on the quarterback without you having a blitz, it allows you to do so many more things on the back end.
How often do you tell Mike, thank you for bringing you guys here?
This is where you want to be at. In Denver, winning playoffs, winning championships, this is where you want to be at. You know, Rod Smith tells me I smile too much. I told him that's because I'm happy, man. Imagine losing for 3 or 4 seasons. I'm just, you know, rejuvenated individual now that I'm here in Denver.
When these guys came to Denver, there was not the same amount of pressure placed on them in Denver as it was in Cleveland as being those high-round draft picks. But the one thing they knew coming to Denver, Mike sat them down and told them, said, look, guys, if you don't perform here, you're gone. And so, hey, you come here with a clean slate, just do what you do, what I think you can do, being the 1st pick and the 3rd pick in the entire draft in your respective drafts, and we'll be fine.
Mike ever sit you down like that?
Yeah, he did. He said, Shannon, you know, I know you like to catch a lot of balls, but those days are over.
The man who will be in the crosshairs of the Denver defense is New England quarterback Tom Brady. And Dan this week had a chance to visit with the man who's won all 10 of his postseason games.
We all know about the kind of talent that Tom Brady has, but this year he's really matured as a quarterback. With his teammates getting hurt all around him, he just made up his mind to carry the Patriots to the playoffs on his right arm.
Every question we get, when I talk to our media is, how's this compared to last year? How's this compared to 2 years ago? This year has been so different. I think we lost some good players. I think we lost some great coaches. So there's been a lot of adjustments. I think we fought through some tough injuries this year, and it's been a tough year.
Think about, almost losing Teddy Bruschi in the stroke. Not sure he's going to come back, and Bill Belichick and his father passing away. Has it been emotionally draining?
It sure has. I mean, a guy like Teddy, who's been a good friend of mine since I got here. I mean, to realize what he went through. At one point, he didn't think he was ever going to play again. I mean, you could see him sitting in his locker, when I'd walk by and he's got his game plan book open. And finally, I said, Teddy, how you feeling? He says, I want to play this year. I got so excited. I gave him a big hug. So it's just exciting. That part of it was exciting. When Coach Belichick lost to his father, it's been a tough year in a lot of ways.
I want to talk about Charlie Weis.
Yeah, I mean, he was my mentor. I mean, he was the best coach I ever had. So you lose him, and then not only you lose a coach, but you lose someone that's your go-to guy. And it's been an adjustment.
Hey, the D's gonna feed off us, all right?
It seemed to me you kind of took it upon yourself to be a little more vocal.
At times I've assumed that role.
I have a hard time with that, boy.
I'm one of the oldest guys on the team now. I mean,
it's hard to believe, isn't it?
I know, it goes fast. I mean, I sit around and I look at like Troy Brown, and I always used to think Troy was this older guy. And Troy's like, I kind of look at him, and not that we're the same age, but we've been here together with Belichick since the beginning. So I guess I do feel like I can assert myself a little bit more, but I had the respect of the guys.
Halfway through the year, Indy comes in here, and they beat you, and you're 4-4. And at that time, what was the mindset of the team?
It was tough. I mean, it was tough. I think we were, like I said, if the season can go one way or another.
We gotta fight! We gotta lay down!
We're sitting at 4-4, not really knowing what kind of team we're going to be, and just to realize the position we're in now and the opportunity that we have ahead, I'm excited for this weekend already.
Tell me the difference in the New England Patriots team today and the one that took the field against Denver in mid-October.
I think there's more confidence now. We've got some players back, and not to take anything away from the guys who took the field that day. We didn't play well that first game, so I don't care who was there on the field. We weren't going to win that game by the way we played.
I'm going to make a statement, and you tell me what you think, okay?
To get me in trouble.
No. If the New England Patriots, win the Super Bowl this year, that'll mean 3 in a row and 4 out of 5 years. Now, I say that makes the New England Patriots the greatest dynasty in NFL history.
Yeah.
That's all you're going to say?
No. I would say that would be an incredible thing. I mean, I stay up at night. I stayed up at night 6 months ago thinking about that. The reality is, I mean, this week's going to be tougher than any week we faced all year. I'd love to beat Denver. That would mean a lot to me this year. We'll see what happens from there.
Well, guys, you look at Tom Brady, and I think this probably was one of his most impressive years because of all the injuries. They lost Charlie Weis to go to Notre Dame, in the offseason. And at one point, they were 4-5. Indy beat him at home. He's really held this team together, carried this team, and really became a true leader. And you think about it, he has a chance to go to his 4th Super Bowl if they win out this year, and he's 28 years old.
It's unbelievable, Before we get around to picking this game, let me ask you, much has been made about the fact that this is rematch weekend. These teams have played each other earlier in the season. We've already seen Seattle, which lost to Washington earlier in the season, come back and beat them. Does the losing team have any kind of an advantage in the rematch so close together?
Well, I think that New England has the advantage because when they, in this situation, because they know what Denver did to them last time, they know what the mistakes that they made, the things that they have to improve on, and especially when you have a veteran team that's been to Super Bowls like New England.
All right. Who do you like in this game and why?
Well, when I look... Well, Chevrolet, yes. Well, when I look at this game, you look at Tom Brady, and his experience, but I really do think the defense, having Teddy Bruschi back, Richard Seymour, Wolford up front, they have to contain the running game of the Denver Broncos, even just to around 100 yards, to take some pressure off that offense. And when you think of them, if they can do that, and they can make Jake Plummer try to win this game in the middle of the pocket and throw him from the pocket, New England Patriots will win because of that reason.
So you're taking...
New England Patriots.
All right, okay.
Greg, you know what I'm going to do, Greg? I'm going to tell you the stats. I'm not going to give you no stats. I'm not going to tell you this and that. I'm going to tell you this is what it comes down to. Can you do what you do better than they do what they do. The Broncos, you run the football and you play defense behind that. Tom Brady, you know what you want to do. You want to screen and short pass, and can you do that better than what the Broncos do? I don't think you get it done tonight. The scene is going to be electric. The first home playoff game in this new stadium in a very, very long time. The Broncos will end the reign of the New England Patriots tonight.
Boomer, before you start, it was scary, but I understood what he meant.
Did you really? I kind of did too.
You do what you do. You do what you do.
The thing about it is, though, Shan, to a certain extent, you are right, but not to the whole extent. I say this, man, it is going to be the Patriots' night. It's Tom Brady. He is cool. He sees the field. He's going to be back there in that shotgun. A lot of short passes, no question about it. Jake Plummer was almost perfect the last time these two teams played. I don't expect that to happen. Look for Kevin Falk to have another big game. He was instant energy last week against Jacksonville. I like the Patriots to come up with a couple turnovers, and that's going to lead the Patriots to
Shannon, the Lone Ranger, riding that white horse.
Trevor Price, baby. Trevor Price.
You do what you do. I'll do what I do. You do what you do. The Patriots are going to win.
I'll pick the winner.
I know what I'm doing. Coming up, it's the AFC Divisional showdown between the Patriots and the Denver Broncos. Phil Simms and Jim Nantz are standing by in Denver for the call. We will see you at halftime. Heck of a game upcoming. Enjoy it, everyone, here on CBS.
CBS Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
Everything you got, you leave it on the field. It's all standing. Big is all out. Play smart, play hard, baby. 1, 2, 3, win. Look at this. Big hole. There he goes. Oh, what a play. Doesn't get much better than this. Is on the way, is back-to-back, and the Patriots have done it again. Yes, it's a dynasty. Throws it, makes a touchdown connection. Watch out. He's in the open for a touchdown. Here we go, to the house. Touchdown. Looking long. In the end zone. My, oh, my. Fasten your seatbelt. Here we go. Another amazing game. Steps on the throw. Touchdown. See ya. For the touchdown. What a scene we have for you. The Broncos at Invesco in the postseason here on this field for the first time ever. The NFL playoffs continue with a much anticipated matchup on the way. Two-time defending champion New England taking on the Denver Broncos, with the winner of this one facing the winner of Pittsburgh and Indianapolis. They'll meet tomorrow. Hello, friends. Jim Nantz along with Bill Simms. What's going to give here, Phil? They've got a 10-game home win streak, the Broncos, and of course the Patriots have that historic 10-game win streak in the postseason.
Well, Jim, I'm excited to be here tonight. I'm excited to watch these players, but I'm also excited to see what these coaches do. The strategy they employ, I think that's going to be a big part of the game.
Here's what a dynasty looks like. You talk about 10 wins scattered across the last 4 seasons, 3 Super Bowl wins, the comebacks, the Vinatieri kicks, the Brady moments. It's just been flat amazing.
Tremendous coaching. The quarterback has been clutch, and the best clutch kicker probably in the history of football. That's how you win 10 in a row.
And speaking of Tom Brady, the Patriots were here on October the 16th. The Broncos beat them 28-20, and Brady was pounded in that game.
Yeah, he took a lot of hits from this defense. Tom Brady said when the game was over, it's the sorest I've ever been after an NFL football game. 17 quarterback pressures, 9 hits, knocked him down to the ground 9 times. And when you talk to the Broncos, they make it perfectly clear. If we're going to win the game or have a chance to win, we got to sack, we got to hit Tom Brady, because if we don't, he gets time, he'll find the open guy, and he will put the football on the money.
But look, Phil, look who was not
in the game when they met here week 6. Troy, Brown, Bruschi, Dillon, Falk, Seymour, all of them playing here tonight. Now on the Denver side, Jake Plummer, you've heard it all week long. People kind of discrediting this stellar season that he had, expecting he's going to implode. That's the word you hear all week. What about Jake Plummer in this spot tonight?
Well, that's all you hear when people talk about Jake Plummer. The only way he is going to stop that talk, he's going to have to play well in the playoffs and win the Super Bowl. Mike Shanahan told him this week, Jake, it's a regular season game. You played really well. Prepare the same way. Act like it's the same game, and also the teammates like him. He's the leader of the football team. There's no reason why Jake Plummer should not play well here tonight.
All right, partner, and now UPS delivers today's reliable game points, and really these points apply to both teams.
That's what they do. When you talk about both teams, we met them both. They're confident, almost cocky about what they're going to do to the other team's strategy tonight.
And one more point here.
Well, the team, we talk all we want about strategies. Last week, Denver out-hit Jacksonville. This week, the team that imposes their will out-hits the other team, probably will win the game tonight.
For your reliable game picks delivered by UPS, log on to CBSSportsline.com. This game is brought to you in high definition by Sony. It's Belichick and Shanahan. Those two have won 5 of the last 8 Super Bowls, and they'll meet on CBS in a moment. For this one, ideal, unseasonably warm, can you believe? 53 degrees at kickoff, clear skies. Bonnie Bernstein's on the sidelines with the latest. Bonnie.
Well, Jim, Tom Brady said to us last night, the Patriots are a very beatable team. But then he added, maybe that's why we're 10-0 in the postseason. We're always scared of getting knocked off, so we prep harder than anybody else. They prepped this hard for the Broncos because they lost to them in October, and Brady was encouraged when he got to practice this week, and Belichick, after all of the film he watched, said, I think we found a way to handle them. Brady said, if we can beat the Broncos tonight, I'll be the happiest dude in the world.
That's what he said. He gained confidence looking back at the Denver tape from in October, their matchup here. He saw a lot of ways that he thinks he can attack tonight, but he did point out they are 13-3 for a reason. We've got to outfox them. Sauerbrun's kick is going to be run back on the delay by Ellis Hobbs, and he's able to add an extra 5 instead of the touchback. So here comes Brady. Tops in the NFL this year, over 4,100 yards passing, a career high. Again, best in the league in his postseason career numbers. Spectacular. Ashworth starts. Kazir is out with a shoulder injury, inactive. So Ashworth on the left side, Gorin on the right. And David Givens has caught a touchdown in 6 consecutive playoff games, including last week in the win over Jacksonville. They go with Dillon on first down, and he's stacked up after just a gain of 2, running right into Al Wilson. And others on that Denver defense. They gave up only 37 points over its last 4 games. They had the bye last week. They're the 2 seed behind Indianapolis. There's Gerard Warren looking for his first career postseason win in the NFL coming over from Cleveland. Wilson makes the Pro Bowl this year. And in the secondary, big names like Lynch, a Pro Bowler for the 7th time, and Champ Bailey. Kevin Falk has come in after 1 play, in for Dillon, and it's 2nd and 8 for Brady. His first pass, complete, Branch, first down. That gains 9. What do you see here when New England has the ball, Phil?
Well, I know this, Jim. Bonnie Bernstein hit upon it. Tom Brady says we are ready for the blitz. That's what you got to do when you play this Denver Broncos defense. Denver's defense, I said it in the opening, Larry Coyer, their defensive coordinator, says, hey, we got to go get him. And that means blitz Tom Brady, find ways to get him out of rhythm.
If you can't get to him, said Larry Coyer, the coordinator, he's just too good. He completes his first one for a new set of downs. Play action this time, and it's over to Heath Evans. The fullback makes the grab out of the 39. Only a gain of 3. Brady, postseason. Where do you begin? Well, you got to start right here. Never lost, 10-0. Has not been picked since Super Bowl 38. Carolina's Reggie Brown picked him off. 5 game-winning drives for Brady. Troy Brown comes in, 2nd down and 7. And Darren Williams in for the Denver defense. And Dillon, he is stacked up right at the 40. Give him only one.
Well, Jim, you talk about Tom Brady, you talk about this New England offense, and Denver knows it, everybody around the league knows it. It's about throwing the football for this New England offense. Tom Brady, as they say, he's going to fire the ball. Given time, he's one of the best in the NFL. They run the football just to keep the rhythm of the offense. They have not run the ball well all year long, so don't expect them tonight to come in here and be dominant with the running game.
Falk a threat out of the backfield as a receiver, and he's in now, flanking Brady out of the gun. 3rd down and 6. Patriots shifting around.
It's the punt rush defense. Everybody up, and here they come.
Well, the flags first. And John Lynch was coming in. He wanted to keep that momentum going.
False start. 61 of the offense. That's a 5-yard penalty. It's still 3rd down.
Tom Brady, this is the blitz they're ready for. When everybody lines up at the line of scrimmage, you don't know if they're going to all come or everybody will drop out. And once the play is over, John Lynch throws him around a little, gets excited. And Tom Brady, yeah, all right.
He's got a pump fist of his own. Andre Davison for New England, 3rd and 11. Excellent protection, and Brady trying to take advantage, and that is jarred loose. Branch says that was early contact, no flag. Now Wilson with the hit.
That was good timing by Champ Bailey. That time, because you're worried about the blitz, the New England Patriots, they moved Tom Brady in the pocket. It gives him extra time, and now the receiver's open. The football's a little late, and Al Wilson, I'm sorry, I said Champ Bailey. You were right, Jim. Al Wilson hits him right on time.
Looks like he would have been about a yard shy had he made the catch. Josh Miller with the boot. Patriots forced to punt after picking up only 1 first. It's Adams with the return. And like the Patriots, their first snap will take place at the 25 when we return to Mile High. And Teddy Bruschi is in the starting lineup. He'd missed the last 2 games with a calf injury. Someone wondered if he would be a full go here tonight, and he's in at the start. Returned to the Patriots after the Denver game in October. 1st down and 10. Their first snap is a handoff, trying to go wide with it, and that's Mike Anderson for a yard. Richard Seymour and others combine on that hit. For Jake Plummer, only Brad Johnson had a lower interception percentage in the league this year. 18 touchdowns, only 7 picks. Tom Nalen, the center. He was born in Foxborough, Massachusetts, right where the Patriots' home is. And there's Anderson, 1,000-yard season. Gained only 1 on that first carry. Some wider splits here on that line. And someone jumped with the flag down. Plummer just able to get it back to the line. Jeff Triplett governing this game tonight at Invesco.
False start. Number 82 of the offense. That's a 5-yard penalty. It's still 2nd down.
Well, the New England defense, in the words of Bill Belichick, he said last night, the final third of the season, very dramatic difference. Seymour missed action in the middle of the season, including the game here. McGinnis had 4.5 sacks in the win over Jacksonville, a record last week. And the secondary, again, having to be reworked a couple of times over this season, includes Asante Samuel, who ran back a left witch pass for a touchdown a week ago. 2nd down and 14. And Plummer over to Lee, and he has the grab across the 30 to the 32 and give him 10 yards.
Well, you look at this Denver offense tonight, Jim, what they want to do. Mike Shanahan, give the ball to Mike Anderson, wear him down, then bring in Tatum Bell and see if he can get a big run for you. For the New England defense, it's all about their linebackers. They get the sacks when they go to the quarterback. They move around. They stop the run. They're good in pass coverage. The defense was built for the linebackers to be the stars, and for many years under Bill Belichick, they have been.
3rd down and 4. Have to get it about to the 36, and that's Anderson driving, and being brought short. The first brought down by Ty Warren.
Couple things I saw in that first series. You said it. The splits one time, they came out with some unusually big splits for an offensive line, but there was a false start by the Denver offense, and also 2 defenders covering Rod Smith. They're going to make Jake Plummer throw the football to Ashley Lilly.
Tim Dwight will be the returner, and he's got 6 career runbacks, 3 punts, 3 kicks, including one in the Super Bowl down in Miami when he was a Falcon against the Broncos. Came back a kick for a touchdown. Sauerburn's boot, a short one on the run. That's Dwight, and speedy as he always is, out of bounds at the 35. Patriots, Broncos, emotions running high here in the Mile High City.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of Super Bowl 40. The voice-activated Acura TL, a higher form of performance. And by Budweiser Select. Finally, bold taste meets a clean finish. Expect everything.
And the Patriots' second series of the game. At the 35 with Kevin Falk coming out of the backfield. Empty set for Brady. Here comes Lynch. Brady gets it away in time for a short gain to the 39. That's Christian Fauria for 4. Lynch was coming in. Warren was coming in.
This happened many times last game. John Lynch, so smart, faked like he wasn't going to come on the blitz, and he gets a good shot. Tom Brady wants a late hit on the quarterback. That was clean. And the last time these two teams played, Denver's defensive backs got clean shots on Tom Brady more than I've ever seen in all the years that I've covered the New England Patriots under Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
Crowd noise is a big factor here.
Phil, they took that catch away. I saw the officials meet for a moment. They rule it no catch. 2nd and 10. Wide open. Nice grab by Branch, who reverses field to the 44, 1 yard short of a first.
Couple things. They came on the blitz again. The Denver Broncos, they're going to come after Tom Brady. And what you do when you know a team is going to be aggressive, you cross the receivers, just what they did, because defensive backs have to go behind the receivers. John Lynch again, coming free.
Who will be called on for the tough yard? They've got Dillon back in on 3rd and 1. With Evans as the fullback, it's Dillon. And he has it with ease as Ferguson grabs him by the ankles, but not until the ball's advanced to the Denver 45.
Well, we said it a few times already. A gambling defense, if you hang in there, if you just keep doing what you do, every once in a while, you're going to break big runs and get some big pass plays. Denver, they have so many people near the line of scrimmage. Once you get 2 yards down the field, it's going to be another 10 yards before you see the next defensive player.
Dillon taking that carry for 11 yards. It's the first time either team has crossed midfield. First down for the Patriots. And another flag.
False start. Number 70 of the offense. The 5-yard penalty. It's still first down.
And that's the second false start on New England. This week on NFL.com, Phil Simms talks about how things have changed for this weekend's playoff opponents since they met in the regular season. It's all at NFL.com and NFL on AOL. All rematches in the divisional round, as it turns out, with Seattle already advancing to the NFC title game earlier today. First down and 15 And that's Watson in motion with lined up wide to the left, setting up a screen. Dillon has it. Gold chasing after him and rides him down at the 41.
One way you combat the blitz is you deceive the defense. Let them come in. Say, hey, oh, we're going to get to the quarterback. Uh-oh, it's a screen pass. And that's what Tom Brady does. Draws them in. Look at all the defenders around the quarterback. And Corey Dillon, they did this last time, Jim. You talked about it last night with us. They got over 100 yards in screen passes against this Denver defense, and almost all of it is against the blitz.
Patrick Pass in that game had 89 yards receiving. He's inactive with a hamstring tonight. And that run by Falk will bring up 3rd down and about 2. Give him 4 on the carry. Falk very active last week in the game against Jacksonville.
Well, you know, I'm going to go back to this Denver defense. Even when they give up big plays, they don't change. They're going to keep coming. And they've seen all the trick plays against their blitzes. Block, let the guy go, throw it to him, the screen passes, the reverses, and they've seen them so much, they think they're getting better at reacting to the tricks off of their blitz.
Brady faked like he was going from the gun, now steps up, 3rd down and 2, and it's Falk, and he's hit low by Wilson, well short of the first. 4th and 1 coming, and this may be, for the Patriots, one they'll really strongly consider going for.
Well, they might. I think they will go for it, but this is not unusual for this Patriots team. They have just not been in sync with the running game all year long. So they've done it with screen passes and just put more pressure on Tom Brady.
We talk about the running game after Dillon set the Patriots single season record a year ago. He's had nagging injuries this year, Corey Dillon, but as a team, New England rushed for 100 yards only 5 times. As a team, 100 yards 5 times.
Yeah, those teams are usually not in the playoffs, so that tells you a lot about Tom Brady, some of the other stuff, and a good defense. And you knew this football was short of the 1st down, but Bill Belichick, it's big. If it's 1.5 yards or 3/4 of 1 yard, that's going to help make up his decision. It looks like it's about 1 yard, maybe a little less.
Well, the ball's at the 36 of the Broncos.
These are moments, and the Broncos talk about it. The Patriots are fearless when it comes to making big decisions. This could be a run. They could go for the touchdown. They're not worried about the results. They're just trying to make it happen early.
Dillon already picked up the tough yard on 3rd and 1, but he's not in on this one. They clear Falk out of the backfield, 4th and 1. Brady steps back to the gun.
They might be trying to draw him off sides.
Still 5 seconds on the play clock. Nope, they're going for it. Here comes Lynch. Pass away, incomplete. Influenced by the blitz by Lynch. Trying to hit Christian Faurier on the pass.
And they had what they wanted. He was wide open, but again, pressure on the quarterback makes you inaccurate.
The Denver defense makes a stand, and the Patriots turn it over on downs.
John Lynch at the bottom of his screen. He's going to hit Tom Brady one more time on the blitz. Brady knows it. He tries to get rid of the football too quick. That's why he's inaccurate. Those two are going to be friends before the night's over.
Spending some time together,
They're going to spend some time.
Tatum Bell in for the first time. The Broncos throwing on 1st down. Nice grab. Reaching up into the sky. Ashley Lallee for 5 yards. Tatum Bell. And Anderson got the first series, but Bell in that first matchup against New England broke a 68-yard run right up the middle of the field. Is the longest rush of the year allowed by the Patriots by far.
Yeah, well, you know, what was Bill Belichick's words about that last night?
Right up the middle of the field. I mean, right?
It's just pathetic. It was pathetic. But in some other words, whatever.
2nd down and 5, and on the play action, Plummer dancing around and getting some room to run and sliding for the first.
Jake Plummer has been so good all year long. Jim, we've seen it in many games where we've covered the Broncos. The Broncos are just an average pass blocking team, but they run it so well. Sometimes it allows the quarterback a little more time to throw, but when it does break down, well, that's you see why he is called Jake the Snake. because he can avoid a few rushers.
He slides for 6, and the Broncos able to pick up a first down for the first time. Bell's first handle. Working the Lepsis side and give him 4 yards until Richard Seymour ends it.
Yeah, you know, I'm a little surprised to see Tatum Bell, but Mike Shanahan must not have liked what he saw in that first series. In other words, he goes, I need the speed faster now. In other words, let's get out and let's stretch the field, because when you look at New England's front seven, and I watch all these teams and you see the size, they are big. They're tall, they're big, they're powerful. So one way you beat size is to spread it out and make it run.
2nd down and 6, and there's Anderson. 1,000-yard season, 921 yards for Bell. And Plummer looking down the sideline, and Lally was there, and the pass off the mark. The running backs here for Denver. Anderson, his 2nd 1,000-yard season, and Bell tried to get there in the final week against the Chargers, came up 79 shy. And don't forget about Ron Dane on the right side right there, who maybe sprung the biggest run of the year for Denver, the 55-yard run in overtime at Dallas on Thanksgiving Day that set up the Elam winner. Bruschi is out for New England, 3rd down and 6. Chad Brown takes his place. Plummer, Rod Smith, and he is dragged down at the 45, and that is not enough for the first.
Well, anytime, there's a lot that can happen when you watch this game tonight. Denver, they do not like 3rd and long. No team likes 3rd and long, of course. But I told you they don't pass protect really well in those situations. And New England's going to do 2 things. They're either go all-out blitz or all-out coverage. That time it was coverage. Nowhere for Jake Plummer to throw the football down the field.
Tim Dwight returned the first. Sauerbrunn punt, but this time it's Troy Brown waiting to handle this one. High into the sky. Brown won't touch it. Ball bounces at the 9 and beautifully into the arms of Jerome Cox. Brady will start this next drive at the 4-yard line. Todd Sauerbrunn getting it done and loving it, backing up the Patriots inside the 5.
My dearest Lisa.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by the 244 horsepower Pilot, built by Honda, and by Wendy's. Don't compromise, personalize. Do a Wendy's burger. Do what tastes right.
Full moon kind of a night. Will wild things be happening? Denver's been a good field position team all year, and they have backed up the Patriots off the Sauerbrunn boot to the 4-yard line. Out of the end zone, almost intercepted. Boy, Al Wilson. Yep, that would have been 6.
Good recognition by Al Wilson, 56. Top of your screen, watching. It's a route that everybody runs in the National Football League. He diagnoses it early, and maybe it's that, well, you know, you got to remember, Al Wilson had surgery on his hand 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, he's been held up with a thumb injury, so it may have impacted his ability to catch that one. But it's Dillon getting the call, 2nd and 10, and Lynch. What a sure-handed grab that was of Dillon, giving him 4 yards, 3rd and 6 on the way.
Boy, you watch John Lynch. You've seen him so far today, the blitzes that he's had, and look how far he's coming off. Behind the line of scrimmage, goes to the right spot, makes the good tackle. He's come here, 2nd year from Tampa Bay, and he even says to us, the moving of football teams, learning a new defense, he says, has rejuvenated my career. And I think it does that to a lot of veterans. You know, you're uncomfortable. New teammates, new coaches. You got to impress them. He's done that.
Brady with 2 on the play clock. Has to call timeout. Timeout on the field here in Denver.
Well, John Lynch has had a really good start here in this game tonight. Pressured Tom Brady, giving a little extra push here to let him know he's going to be there all night. The blitzes, he is coming in untouched, making Tom Brady feel uncomfortable when it comes to throwing the football, and also made a couple of good tackles on run plays.
3rd down and 6. Denver thought New England had moved, and no one in the area for Brady. Confusion for the Patriots that time.
Mike Shanahan said the greatest advantage in sports, he thinks, is home playoff games when you have a tremendous crowd. And right now, that is what's stopping this New England offense. Crowd noise. They are getting no communication on the New England side, and the Denver defensive players are taking advantage of it.
And he says the biggest advantage of all when it comes to that home field is the snap count, keeping the other team off balance. And flags are down as Miller gets it away to Adams. Charlie Adams has room at the 50 and dives to the 45. And we'll check the flag. Larry Izzo on the special teams tackle.
You know, you think about it, communication in all the other sports, baseball, basketball, it's not that big of a deal. In football, your offense, your offensive linemen, it is so important. So when you take that away, what an advantage it gives to your defense.
The signal offsides against Denver, and the 5 yards will not be, it's going to be close. It was just outside of, it was 4th and 5.2 yards, I guess you could say. Now, Belichick discussing the options.
Well, here it is. Bill Belichick can move them back 5 yards from where the play ended, or he can go get the 5 yards and re-punt.
The return went to the New England 45. So if he puts it on the back end of that and bring it back to the 50, a 53-yard punt, but a 17-yard return.
He didn't like any of the choices.
Offside on the receiving team. That penalty will be assessed from the previous spot, 5 yards, and it's still 4th down.
Yeah, it's just going to be 4th and less than a yard, and they'll re-kick it. Premiering this week, Tuesday on CBS. Don't miss the premiere of the new show critics are calling totally charming and hilarious, and an insightful take on love and life. Tom Cavanaugh and Jason Priestley star in Love Monkey on America's #1 network. Right decision here to take the 5 and re-kick it, you think?
Absolutely. I agree with it. Now you got a Denver defense that's going to be a little careful.
Lonnie Paxton to snap it back to Miller. Pressure on the punter. And another fine kick all the way back 37. And the fair catch, so that penalty nets about 18 yards for New England.
Now look what's happened so far here tonight. Kind of mirrors, I saw the beginning of the Seattle Seahawks and the Washington Redskin game, and I hope you like defense. And I like it. I want it to be tough, and it is tough here, and it's fun to watch each team, the strategies that they employ. Field position is so important.
You expect it's going to kind of stay that way?
Well, they'll break it open here sooner or later. They'll start making some plays, but I don't expect either team to just have a great night on offense.
Plummer has an open Lee, and he's into New England territory at the 48. Of course, that first matchup of the season, what a second quarter explosion in that one by the Broncos. 3 touchdowns, won the game in the second quarter.
2 defenders again watching Rod Smith. Teddy Bruschi comes on the blitz. He's picked up And Mike Shanahan, this Denver offense, I've heard many coaches say it. Mike Vrabel, of course, thinks he's held, that their first down plays are very tough to defend because they do everything.
So Mike Anderson back in on this series and working hard, chugging along to the 44 and a gain of 4. And it was Vrabel on the tackle. Final 30 seconds of the first quarter.
I think the big thing is, Jim, we talked to both teams. New England confident, Denver tired of hearing about New England. Praised them all week. They didn't want to. They did it. We won 13 games. We know they're the Super Bowl champions. We can win.
Down in 6. And knocked down rather quickly by Roosevelt Colvin. That's Mike Anderson. And we've got a scoreless first quarter in the books. You're watching the NFL on America's #1 network, CBS. Well, we talked about that second quarter in their first matchup, and you see the 247 yards by the Broncos. The most yardage in a quarter in the Shanahan era, and the most in any quarter by any team this year.
That was probably the low point of the year for the New England team, especially for the defense. They have got players back, and as Bill Belichick says, we're communicating better. They're just playing a lot better overall.
3rd down and 4. Plummer flings it. The catch is made at the 30. Diving grab by Rod Smith. And the Broncos have their deepest penetration of the night.
Jake Plummer was about ready to come off of Rod Smith. Stays with him. Throws it sidearm. And what a good job of Rod Smith going to the ground and making the catch. It took a long time for it to get open. Look at the protection he receives. When you get that kind of time, a quarterback usually will hit the open receiver down the field in this league.
And that picks up 15 for first down at the 29. DeVoe in on this snap for Smith. Plummer looks left side. Elite brings it down. Forward progress to the 25. Gain of 4. Samuel on the one-on-one coverage.
Yeah, as I watched this Denver team all year long, I thought the last 4 or 5 games, they started throwing the football more, dropping back, putting more pressure on Jake Plummer. And I really believe one of the reasons why, because they knew, Mike Shanahan knows, when he gets in the playoffs, he's going to face some really good defenses like this one. And the passing game has to work for you to have a chance to win. They've run it not very well so far, but Jake Plummer is doing a good job on this drive throwing.
Give him 3 with that last catch. 2nd and 7. Plummer wide of Alexander.
And he had him open that time. Just, again, when you have success throwing off balance as a quarterback, you rely on it too much. Jake Plummer way off balance, trying to make the throw across the field, and he was off target.
Tatum Bell in for this 3rd down snap. Plummer telling us we're not rolling over because of the Patriots' pedigree. They have a chance to strike first. They have not led in a playoff game since the end of Super Bowl 33. Plummer firing. And Smith unable to hold on this time. Flag back at the 35. Ooh, the hold. And, well,
I think you got to push him back.
Yeah, take him pretty much out of field goal range, unless you want to try one from 53, 54
Holding
yards.
number 26 in the offense. The 10-yard penalty. It's still 3rd down.
Tatum Bell, number 26. His strength, number 26 in the backfield, is not pass blocking, overcommits. Well, he just gets his arm wrapped around Willie McGinnis's leg. But, Jim, we were watching the kickers warm up before the game. Jason Elam, I don't know if they tried one that far. He was kicking them from 60 yards, and they were going over the crossbar easily.
I don't think if they gain nothing on this one, Well, it'd be 54 yards. I'm not sure they'd go for it at this point. So maybe 2 down territory by virtue of them accepting the penalty. It doesn't matter. They got the target to the first. It's Putzier at the 12-yard line. Asante Samuel was over in that area, but it goes for 24.
Good protection, and also Jake Plummer looks down the field. 2 receivers to the right side, and the defense recognizes a short receiver. They stay with him too long. It was Charlie Adams and Jake Plummer. Look, he was going to throw it short, because as a quarterback, you always expect them to cover deep, give you the short one in 3rd and long. New England makes a big mistake that time on defense.
And Bell's in the backfield on 1st down. Bell left side to the 10, trying to squeeze outside. He's inside the 5, gain of 8. Ben Hamilton and Rod Smith opened up things for Tatum Bell.
Good example why you see Tatum Bell in the football game, to get outside. And this time, watch the offensive lineman to the left, Ben Hamilton. They stay on their blocks. They stay on their blocks, and that allows Tatum Bell to get out there and pick up a 1st down or get 9 yards.
7th best in the league this year. Touchdown percentage inside the 20. They got 2nd and 2 at the 4. Bell again. And working near the 1st down yardage.
There'll be some tough work inside. This New England defense has turned around. We always talk about Teddy Bruschi and Willie McGinnis, the stars, but Vince Wilfork, who plays over the center, has been one of the big reasons why they've turned it around, because they can stop the run. He's almost unblockable in there. It needs 2 guys. We watched him on film, Jim. We had some laughs because he is big, athletic, and when you have that tremendous run stopper inside, it frees up a lot of other defenders to make the plays.
Look at this. Couple of chain links short. Now, you're talking about one of the members of the all-space eater team in the league. And that's Wilfork right there. It'll be an interesting call here and gives Denver so many possibilities. Plummer so tough, rolling out, bootlegging, etc. in this very spot.
I'd be surprised. I think they'll run it here, even though they love the boot passes, because if it goes for nothing and it's still close, I think they might actually go for it. So I look for Denver to run the football, probably with a quick count from Jake Plummer.
Go back to Anderson and Kyle Johnson in the backfield behind Plummer. 3rd and inches.
Oh, he didn't get it.
No, in fact, they lost a yard.
He went with the quick count. New England absolutely was ready. And you can't get the quarterback sneak. Let me give another clinic on it. You ready? I do it every week, right?
Absolutely.
Take a step back, then go forward, would you please? How can you get any power as a quarterback? Watch Jake Plummer. I know he wants to dive over the top, but there's nothing there for him. If you take a step back, you'll see a little gap, you can push through it.
Well, they're going for it, as you predicted. 4th and 1.
They lost yards. They lost about, not yards, he lost a good 2 or 3 feet. Now, Jim, outside runs, Jake Plummer keeping it. They're all in play.
Tatum Bell was brought back in, but the Broncos call timeout first. Big snap coming up out of the break.
From the first joke.
Well, this is one of those moments. Jim Nance, Phil Simms, Bonnie Bernstein. Phil, you said impose your will, and that could go either way on this very play.
Well, you know, you're Mike Shanahan. This is not a game for the faint of heart, as I used to hear all the time from some of my coaches. Big decision. They talked that whole time out on the sideline, and the way he talked to Jake Plummer makes me believe. He said, Jake, if we throw it, it's not there, make sure you run it. Let's see if he keeps the football.
Let's see how good a lip reader you are. Lobbing it. Pass incomplete. What coverage over there by Asante Samuel. Lee was the target, and the Patriots take over on downs. Samuel was all over that one. Well covered.
By Wachovia, wherever you are financially, we're right there with you. Chevrolet, an American revolution. And by boneless wings, only at KFC's new flavor station. They're good.
An 11-play drive for Denver. Comes up empty at the 3. Patriots take over with Dillon. And he's able to pick up a couple before Al Wilson ends it. How about the call?
Well, Jim, we looked at this a few times during the commercial. This is what they went with the whole time. Both receivers on the outside going down the field. When I see this low percentage, it's not what the Denver Broncos are about. There are some teams in the league, New England being one, if you're a passing team, you throw those kind of routes. But that is not Denver's strength, so I'm very surprised about the decision.
2nd down and 8. And again, they'll stay with the run and pick up 2 more yards. That Denver attempt coming up again empty, and New England has now in 14 postseason drives, going back to last week's game with Jacksonville, still not allowing a single touchdown.
Now that's what's made them so strong over the years. Bill Belichick, all of his years as being a defensive coordinator and as a head coach, he has prided himself, and they have been tremendous most of the time. When you get near their goal line, you kick field goals instead of scoring touchdowns.
Again, both teams have been stopped on 4th down.
Here's the punt rush.
It's 3rd and 6. Lynch coming from the left side, right up the middle, flag. And they rule the play dead. Whistle it dead as Al Wilson just broke through.
Wow, they have got some good keys on this New England offense.
False start. Number 70 in the offense. Half the distance to the goal. It's still 3rd down.
They did not show this all-up blitz. Al Wilson coming free to the Patriots the first time they played. Tom Brady said, look, they didn't do it to us the first game. They started doing it afterwards. We're ready for it. In fact, when he told us, Jim, didn't he kind of get a little smile on his face like, we are going to bust one on one of those gambling blitzes? Well, not so far.
Picked up only 2 first downs. Half the distance on the penalty, 3rd and 9. They'll go safe with the run. Falk knocked down at the 8. This crowd here has forced 3 false starts and a timeout called by Brady the last time they were inside the 5. And Brady calls this his favorite venue on the road, right here, this stadium.
Yeah, but you know, he hasn't been in this place in a playoff atmosphere, and he did not think communication was going to be a problem tonight, but it has been big time so far.
Kevin Falk limped off the field after that rush. Miller with a high soaring boot, and Adams makes the fair catch, dives for it. 44-yard line. Al Wilson and company have held Brady and the Patriots to only 2 first downs. Coming up, we've got the Sprint halftime report with Greg, Dan, and Shannon and Boomer. First half highlights and a look at the highlights of the Washington-Seattle game coming up on the Sprint halftime report. Plummer dumps it. Anderson, 50, 45, down to the 42 and a first.
So far, the passing game for the Broncos, it's been efficient. Jake Plummer has not taken a chance with the football. When it's not open, he's looking for the secondary receiver, and maybe most of all, getting a lot of room and a lot of time to throw the football.
And look at the way they've won the field position battle to this point. Again, no score. Stopped the last time at the 3. Slant. He has his man Smith for another first down near the 30.
Saw this a lot in practice the other night when we watched them. When they spread out, there's a reason for doing it. They're going to make the defense declare what they're going to do, and make no doubt about it, when Denver drops back, Rod Smith almost always is their #1 target down the field. In fact, we watched practice. Jim, you looked at me once and started laughing. Is there another receiver on the team?
Yeah.
Because he catches every pass.
He's had a phenomenal career and really high-level stuff against New England. Carry by Anderson only for a yard.
Well, I just said Jake Plummer getting some space to throw the football. And when you get space as a quarterback in the NFL, you go to the Pro Bowl. Because you're going to see well down the field, you're going to make good decisions, and you're going to put it right on the money.
That pass to Putzier, the longest play of the night, 24 yards. And yes, Plummer is on his way to the Pro Bowl. He was an alternate, but with injuries to Drew Brees and Carson Palmer, Plummer moves up, and he is on the roster. Second down and 9. Flinging it downfield and intercepted. They say no. We're going to go to a little conference here. Vrabel trying to plead the case for Samuel, and they rule him out.
Well, that's why everybody says, and look, every quarterback does it, keep Jake Plummer in the pocket, and maybe he'll give you a chance. All quarterbacks do, but off balance, tries to make an unbelievable throw. 1 foot, 2 foot. This is going to be red flagged by Bill Belichick.
Probably a red flag and a win.
Does he get it? Control the football? 1 foot, 2 foot?
Well, you would think that Denver might try to hustle to the line of scrimmage, but they got plenty of time to sit around and let this play get challenged. Under review.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Miller. There's good enough, and there's better than it has to be. Miller, good call. And by GMC Trucks and SUVs. We are professional grade.
We're back here with Triplett under the hood. This is kind of bizarre. After that pass play, the Broncos called timeout, not New England, which of course only allowed the Patriots a chance to get a little replay exposure. And Belichick has thrown the challenge flag. What do you see?
He gets control there. Foot's on the ground. Second foot inbounds. I think it's going to be an interception. And even though Denver called a timeout, Bill Belichick was lurking. It's a nice golf term, lurking. And he was going to get that reach down in his sock, and he was going to throw that red flag out. From the side, there is a bobble, but as his right foot is on the ground, he does gain control. The left goes down.
Possession is not an issue here, you say?
There it is, possession. Yep. 2 hands with his right foot still on the ground, left foot in. I'm convinced.
Which would give New England, if there is a reversal, the football back around the 10-yard line. Asante Samuel making a couple of big plays, including defending on Ledley on the 4th down toss to the corner of the end zone.
There you go.
After reviewing the play, the defender caught the ball at the 11-yard line with possession, both feet down inbounds. Therefore, it is an interception. 1st and 10, New England at the 11. New England is not charged. They timeout.
So the Patriots defense comes up with another big play. And Plummer picked only 7 times the entire season. He gets intercepted here.
It's a terrific catch. Shows you the ball skills of Asante Samuel. He has been one of the solid performers all year long for this New England defense. And that was just, that was a terrific catch. Catching the football separates just average corners and makes them really good. When you get a chance to get an interception, he does. When he gets it, he comes through.
Came through again tonight after last week getting one and running it back for a score.
Yeah, Bill Belichick singled him out to us last night. How well he has played and what a leader he has turned out to be on the defense.
His crowd calling on the hometown defense again. Patriots been backed up most of the night from the 11. Brady running out to get some room, looking down the field for Davis. Then he brings it down with the catch. All the way to the Denver 38, working on Champ Bailey, and it strikes for 51 yards.
Well, we just saw Asante Samuel make a play on the football, and this is all that it is. Champ Bailey is right there, tries to knock it down, never gets in position, and Andre Davis keeps his body between the football and Champ Bailey, and he comes down with a nice catch and a really nice throw downfield by Tom Brady.
Davis, who had a big fumble recovery last week, with a Watson fumble, 51-yard reception, and Brady looking over in the area of Dillon, incomplete. Let's go back down to the sideline, Bonnie.
Well, Jim, interestingly enough, we were joking with Brady yesterday about how much more vocal he's been as a leader. As the players were coming off the field, they took a good old tongue lashing from Brady, particularly at the receivers. They've had trouble getting on the page so far in this game. Maybe that talking to worked.
Well, that's interesting you say that, Bonnie, because I was actually kidding with Tom Brady last night. I said, been a little more, I guess vocal's the word for it, to the offensive linemen, and now it's the wide receivers. And look, that's what it's about. Be a leader. You're not their friend, you're their leader.
Corey Dillon, play action fake to Dillon over to Branch. And Branch ducks under one tackle and advances to the 25 for another first.
Fast defense, that's what Denver is. Get them running one way. Everybody goes to the offense's right. Throw it back to Deion Branch, and good blocking on the backside.
Tom Ashworth on the block of Lynch.
Yeah, that's, well, you know, that's a big man on a small man. Once Ashworth gets his hands on John Lynch, you're blocked.
Falk in the backfield, first down. And it's Falk working the middle. Wilson meets him at the 22. One with DJ Williams.
Now, the first play of the series. A lot of ways. New England has moved Tom Brady a few times tonight, trying to get extra time. And anytime you want to get big yards, needs more time for the quarterback. So he took advantage of it. This drive, they've already done better in this drive than they've done all night.
Dillon alternating with Falk, who was limping around after the last series, but has been okay to get back into it. Second down, 7. Brady and Watson the target. And there was more heat. Trevor Price.
Well, that's what Tom Brady, last time these two teams played, he had receivers open down the field. Trevor Price from the outside makes him step up, raise his arm, get in a funny angle, and throw the football off target. Because if Tom Brady had time, Ben Watson, wide open, might have scored a touchdown.
Third down and 7. Andre Davis comes back in, and Belichick ran down the sideline to the line judge and called timeout. Inside of 4 minutes to go in the first half, and we remain scoreless. The MetLife plane providing aerial coverage of the playoff game. MetLife blimps and plane teaming up. You're wondering what Bill Belichick runs the 20 in. There he is.
There he is, top of the screen. He sees the play clock, and then the blitz coming by Denver's defense. Doesn't like his chances. Now you give the offense more time, and you got more time to strategize. Should have a better play against the defense that's coming up.
This place is rocking. Third down and 7. From the 22.
Oh, nice disguise of the blitz.
Brady has time, though, to the end zone and over the head of Branch. This time it was Darren Williams blitzing from the outside.
Jim, I thought they had fooled the New England offense, but it was picked up. Tom Brady just not on target. They faked to the right. The blitz came from the left. Deion Branch turns around the defender. Foxworth, Tom Brady just long and high with the football.
So Vinatieri from 40 yards for the first points of the night. Vinatieri, this a low driving looking kick. It's good. Didn't get this one up into the jet stream, but he got it done for 3.
Adam Vinatieri makes it. That's all that counts, but it is a low kick. And as we watch the replay, He kicks a lot of ground, and you know, Jim and I, we were talking during the commercial. This field is so hard, even you can't hardly hit it fat because your foot's going to come bouncing off that turf quick.
Denver still hasn't led in a postseason game since its Super Bowl win 7 years ago. Super Bowl 33. This is the first time they've been at home since that drive to the Lombardi Trophy. Tony Adams fielding it at the 4, trying the right side. There is a hole. And he squirts out to the 34. Number of big plays in this. Big stops. This was a 4th down situation for the Pats. But then the one for Plummer and the Broncos. By the way, there was a flag on the kick.
First down.
And they add on 5 yards after the return. So that'll bring the football to the 38. And you saw Asante Samuel having a big first half. Tatum Bell gets the ball, brought out of the backfield. Almost intercepted by Samuel again on back-to-back attempts. Again looking for Ashley Lee. CBS Sportsline has the NFL playoffs covered from every angle, and you can get the very latest news, expert analysis, and video coverage, which is updated daily all month long at CBSSportsline.com.
The NFL is about matchups. And why I'm saying that, I would not throw the football at Asante Samuel. On the other side, you got a rookie, Ellis Hobbs. I throw more footballs his way.
2nd and 10. Hubbs here with his second grab of the night. It's about 3 yards shy of the first. Maybe 2.
I think it's the big drive for the Denver Broncos. Jim, look at it. They missed on the 4th down. They're moving again. There's the interception. They give up the long pass on Tom Brady's first play of the following series. They've dominated the game, I think, in a lot of aspects, and they're losing 3-0.
But they have not really established that running attack, which was second in the league only to Atlanta. Atlanta outrushed it by a total of 7 yards on the season.
That's why you got to have more than one way to win. This New England defense big. The linebackers and defensive linemen, that's why they can't run.
3rd down and 2, and that's no chance in the area of Smith.
Crowd's going to boo. It wasn't pretty looking. Jake Plummer throws it behind Rod Smith.
And again, it was in the area of Asante Samuel. He's everywhere.
Yeah, he is everywhere, but you know, that's okay too. It's 3-0. You don't panic as a football team, as a player, as a quarterback, or a coach.
2:48 to go in the half, and Tim Dwight, a punt returner this time. This is a beauty. Fair catch at the 6. 47 yards on the punt. And Tom Brady gaining a little confidence on that last series. He got that long hook up 51 yards to Davis.
Yeah, you know what they did, Jim? They took the crowd out of the game a little. They gave them, they got some confidence. They got some rhythm.
How about that? 10 playoff wins, consecutive wins, as you know, 10-0. Bettering Bart Starr back in the 60s. What a distinguished list.
Tom Brady checking off.
Hall of Fame list. And hitting again. This time it's David Givens.
David Givens. He's tough, and he's the biggest receiver they have. Top of the screen against Champ Bailey. Tom Brady says, man, I wish they would blitz all the time because I can look at one guy and throw it. When they don't blitz, this is what he talked about. You got to drive the football between defenders, and that's what he did that time. He drove it in to David Givens.
Patriots starting this series inside the 15 for the 4th consecutive drive, but they're moving again. Dillon with a nice piece of running. Thanks to the blocks thrown by Watson and Neal as well. We're at the 2-minute warning. 3-0 Patriots. Coming up, we've got the Sprint halftime report. Greg, Dan, Shannon, and Boomer. First half highlights from here and highlights of Seattle's win over Washington. Seahawks winning with Alexander out most of the game with a concussion. Tom Brady inside of 2 minutes. And you can complete the sentence. 2nd down and short, and Falk up ahead with a fumble. Fumble recovered by the Broncos. Ian Gold falls on it.
What a shift in this football game.
Wow.
Everything was turning in the Patriots' favor. Falk inside. Looks like Courtney Brown reaches in there and knocks the football loose. Number 98 reaches across. As some of the New England players said to us last night, this is one big defensive line the Denver Broncos have, and you saw it came into effect with Courtney Brown causing that fumble.
And the crowd is reawakened at the 40. Play action. Plummer. He's going down deep. All the way to the end zone and incomplete. And again, like glue, Asante Samuel, now a late flag. Lee was the target.
I've always said there's no such thing as a late flag. I was wrong. That was late. That took a long time to happen, and I'm not sure they might pick it up. There was a lot of contact, and Asante Samuel did look back for the football.
But he had a couple of teammates trying to restrain him right now.
But from my eye, it looked like we had about 10 yards.
Pass interference. Defense, number 22. And foul 30 in the end zone. It'll be 1st and goal.
Watch him down the field. Oh, boy, there's going to be a lot of talk about this. Asante Samuel is in good position. Ashley Lee actually puts his hands on Asante Samuel. He's looking for the football the whole way. And they're going to say, well, he cut across the receiver. Not really. He beat Ashley Lee to the spot.
From the 1, 39-yard penalty. And it's Anderson diving in. Touchdown, Denver.
I tell you, there's a lot of ways to look at that pass interference. But as I watched it, that's how I interpreted it. You can make, hey, look, you can make, when you're talking about those type of situations, you can make a case for either side.
You know, the bottom line is, if it's that close, maybe there's no reason to have a flag at all.
And there was somebody right there. And the back judge came across and threw the flag.
Elam adds the extra point on the Falk fumble. And then the huge interference call. Denver has that postseason lead that it hasn't experienced in 7 years.
The penalty turns things around. Asante Samuel, he actually looked like he was going to run and try to catch the ball. And then he gets grabbed. And then the Broncos, they take advantage of it. What a block by Cooper Carlisle. 65 comes around. That was Asante Samuel. That's a good job of controlling your emotions. I think my helmet might have been in about row 4. Still a long way to go.
Took 18 seconds after the turnover to cash in, and Anderson has the touchdown.
And you know what, Jim? The Broncos threw the football deep. And, you know, everybody likes the old-fashioned guys. Well, there's only bad that can happen. It can be dropped, intercepted, all that other stuff. Well, in this game today, in the NFL. You throw it deep, they catch it, throw it behind, the receiver comes back, but you throw it also for pass interference. Because it's still the hardest thing for a defensive back to do is to defend the long, high, deep pass.
That lost fumble by New England was the first fumble lost by them in some 500 and nearly 30 minutes of game action. They've gone 7 full games without a fumble lost.
Just another reason why they've won 10 playoff games in a row and who they are.
And now playing from behind with Ellis Hobbs. Returning it. And breaking it and fumbling it. Fumble again. Knocked loose by Todd Sauerbrunn, who kicked it off.
We're waiting.
Tangled bodies.
Yeah, they're down there, so you can see Jeff Triplett down below.
The Broncos have it with Cecil Sapp at the bottom of the pile.
Ellis Hobbs, there is a hole, but he's a little free with the football, it looked like. Turns, got to cover it up.
Look at Sauerbrunn, the punter and kickoff artist.
Tremendous job by him. More and more the kickers and punters in the NFL, hey, they're athletic, they're tough, and I mean that. I see more and more tackles by kickers in this league now more than ever before.
Picked up in a trade in the offseason with Carolina. And they're right back at the 39, 1 yard closer than the last place they recovered.
Oh, good timeout. Bill Belichick settle his team down.
New England takes their third and final charge timeout. It'll be a 30-second one.
And you see him calling his whole team over. This is a big moment for this New England football team, this environment. You can't just let it completely get out of hand. So I'm sure he's going to preach that to his team right now. Discipline, techniques, fundamental. Do them right now.
Look
Do
at
them in this situation.
Sorry, Phil. 2 fumbles lost in 18 seconds. To think 27 seconds ago, we come out of the 2-minute warning. Patriots have the 3-0 lead and 2nd and short, and they're moving the football.
Wow.
There's Ellis Hobbs, who let it slip out of his hands on the hit by Sauerbrunn, a rookie from Iowa State. Falk, who started this very bizarre turn of events.
You know, that was an interesting timeout, though, Jim. More coaches should use timeouts, especially in the first half, for your defense. Stop the momentum. Slow the offense down. Get the crowd out of it. Whatever the reason, I think it's always good strategy in the first half, especially.
Well, you heard the Patriots are out of timeouts. Denver has one with 1:33 to go. Pass, Putzier, written down by Hawkins. His third grab. Gain of 5.
Good job again, Jake Plummer. Staying in the pocket, got pretty tight, but put the football right on the money.
A big hurry here with a minute to go in the half. Bell back in, getting the call. Unable to spring for any big gain. Will be 3rd and short. Running into Richard Seymour and Vince Wilfork.
That is really an impressive defensive front they're going against tonight. And Denver knows it.
Denver calls timeout.
Mike Shanahan, when he said something to us the other day, he looked and he says, I said something about the front seven, and his facial expression said it all. And, you know, he knows what he's up against. That's why you see him throwing the football more than they usually do.
Trying to beat New England for the second time in the season, and since this whole dynasty began back in 01. The first 6 times that a team beat New England in a season only to have a rematch, the Patriots came back to win the second time. Most recently, the Steelers last year in the AFC Championship, flipping the result of the Steelers' Halloween win earlier in that season.
I'll tell you what this does here. 3rd, and I think they measured it at 3 yards. Since the Patriots have no timeouts, if the clock is running, the Broncos can let it get down low, kick a field goal before time runs out, or elect to go for it on 4th down, not worried about New England getting the ball.
Drop back pass all the way, going back down the field, and he was open. He got separation, talking about Lallee, and this time it was Hobbs who was trying to run with him.
Little pressure on Drake Plummer, because if he waits just a half second longer, which he cannot do because he is definitely under pressure, Ashley Lallee is going to pull away from Hobbs that time.
They're going to go for the field goal try. Remember, Plummer is the holder. In case they have a little trickery up their sleeve. Mike Leach to snap it back, and this is a 50-yard attempt. Jason Elam, kick on the way, and that kick, it is good.
I don't think he hit that one very good either.
Barely got over the crossbar.
I promise you, they were kicking it in the net in front of the stands from 60 yards before the game. See if he gets a little too much dirt with this kick. Oh, yes. Got a lot of dirt. And it gets over by about a half a yard. That is a big 3 points.
That Broncos.
Look at Mike Shanahan. He knows
that Broncos field goal brought to you by
Jason Elam. Another 50-yarder in his career. Teddy Bruschi watching. It barely cleared, but that's 10 points for the Broncos in a 59-second span.
Tell you what, I was watching during this, Jim. The Patriots are just screaming at the officials. They said the Broncos had a false start before they kicked the field goal. I did not see an offensive player move.
A new returner back deep, and that's Andre Davis. We take Hobbs out after his failings.
Wow, this has really been some exciting 10-3 game.
I'm telling you. You said it would break open after a while. We were scoreless until about 4 minutes remain in this half. Diving kick will be returned by Davis. And a flag thrown in back inside the 20 that will probably bring it back for the Patriots. And with no timeouts, kneel down likely.
Yep, don't take a chance.
During the return, holding number 94 of the receiving team. 10-yard penalty, still first down.
Here's what you were talking about. On the field goal try.
Right tackle. Let's see if we can see it move. Oh, little flinch. That was hard. You know, we had to go in slow motion to show it to you. But I will say this: when you're down there on the field and you're behind it, it's so much easier for the officials. They can see the slightest flinch by an offensive player, but nobody picked that one up.
Sauerbrunn. How about the kicker? Sauerbrunn forces the turnover, and Elam puts on the 3, puts the 3 on the board.
Jim, a lot of ways to win the game. It just shows you we don't talk about it enough. Special teams, secondary players getting it done. That's why Denver's winning 10-3 here at halftime.
Belichick has an earful. (10-3) is the halftime score. And Bonnie Bernstein, down to you.
Jim, teams always talk about playing well in all three phases of the game: offense, defense, special teams. How is your team able to do that in the last 2 minutes of this half, Mike?
Well, we got a couple turnovers that helped us with the field position. What we got to do is we got to get some points once we get in the red zone on offense.
Running game, not very often. We say only 29 yards rushing in a half for the Broncos. How do you open things up in that phase?
Well, sometimes you got to throw the football to open up the running game. They're an excellent defensive team, and hopefully we can improve a little bit here in the second half.
Okay, Coach, thanks.
All right, Bonnie, 10-3 the score at halftime, Broncos. Back with the Sprint halftime report. Greg and the gang coming up after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS, America's #1 network. Broncos lead it at the half.
CBS Sports presents the Sprint Halftime Report. Sprint, together with Nextel. Yes, you can.
Welcome back to our New York studios for the Sprint Halftime Report, everyone. Greg Gumbel along with Dan Shannon and Boomer at halftime of the AFC Divisional Playoff game in Denver. The Broncos leading the Patriots by a score of 10-3. Let's roll the highlights for you. 4th and 1 from the 3. Jake Plummer, the fade to the end zone. Ashley Lee incomplete. 2nd and 9 from the 30. Jake Plummer picked off through the sideline by Asante Samuel. The Patriots originally ruled incomplete after the review. He's awarded the interception. And on 1st down from his own 11, Tom Brady right down the middle to Andre Davis for 51 yards, led to a Vinatieri field goal and a 3-0 New England lead. On 2nd down from the Patriots 36, Kevin Falk fumbles. Broncos recover at the 40 with under 2 minutes to play. 1st and goal from the 1 after a pass interference call on Asante Samuel. Mike Anderson punches it in for the 7-3 lead. And after the touchdown on the return, New England's Ellis Hobbs has the ball knocked loose by the kicker, Todd Sauerbrunn. And the Broncos recover. Jason Elam, the 50-yard field goal. There is your halftime score, 10-3, Denver in the lead. The numbers on the quarterbacks to this point: Brady, 115 yards. Plummer, 115 yards. Plummer with the game's only interception. Who should feel what about this first half?
Well, I think the New England Patriots got to feel pretty good about only being down by 7 points when you think that Denver turned it over on downs one time. They turned it over twice there right before the end of the half, and Denver got a field goal out of that. The interesting thing is New England's been able to shut down the Denver running game, only 29 yards in the first half. And Jake Plummer, they're not really moving him out of the pocket. You didn't see any bootlegs, what they normally do, so you might have to look for that in the second half.
Greg, when you look at this ball game, when they played early in the season, in the second quarter were big quarters for the Denver Broncos. They scored 21 points earlier in October. This time they scored 10 points, even though they come off 2 turnovers. And I said this earlier, even though the Broncos do not take the quarterback down on the defensive side of the football, they get you off your mark. And if you look at Tom Brady, he's made some uncharacteristic throws. He's missed some receivers that's been wide open, and that's for from the earlier pressure that Denver's placed on him.
All right, and here's the most important thing for the Patriots right now on offense is the adjustments as they go into halftime saying, all right, how are we going to handle the blitz that Denver's been throwing at us? And that's exactly what Tom Brady's been dealing with. Now, listen, a couple of breaks have gone both ways. Now, that pass interference call, I thought really was the wrong call. That's what gave, the Broncos great field position right here. I thought that this could have been called offensive pass interference as they're both jostling for the football, but the official elects to call defensive pass interference. It gives the Broncos a great opportunity to score a touchdown. They go in to score the touchdown. But it's all about the adjustments now made at halftime, handling the Denver blitz. They've also had bad field position, too.
All right, guys, earlier today, Washington at Seattle. This, if you were a Seahawk fan, you thought it was the end of the line. LeVar Arrington hits the back of Sean Alexander's helmet. He left the game with a concussion. He didn't return. Matt Hasselbeck, though, to Darrell Jackson for 29 yards and a touchdown. The Seahawks led 7-3. Now, Seattle fullback Max Strong breaks through. The Seahawks salted away a 20-10 win. We asked linebacker Lufa Tatupu after the game who he wants to play next week.
Yeah, I'm going to leave that question alone. I don't want to step on any toes for next week. So 2 great teams, and look forward to watching some great ball.
You got politics in your future, you know that?
All right, I got one question. Which one of y'all had us to win?
All of us. We all had you. We all picked you.
We all picked you.
My personal stats really don't mean anything anymore. It's who walk away with that Super Bowl championship, and this year it won't be us.
There's your final, 20-10 Seahawks. Are you more impressed with the Seahawks that they were able to do it without Sean Alexander?
I think so, and I think we also saw the best quarterback in the NFC really step up for his team today. He ran well, he threw well in very bad conditions. So, Matt Hasselbeck, congratulations. What a great win. You're on your way to the NFC Championship game.
Yes, Boom, you have to be very impressed, but I don't know if they can be either one of these teams, Carolina or Chicago, if the NFL's MVP does not play, only plays one quarter as he did today. Because Carolina or Chicago can go in there with the defense that they play and beat Seattle.
The other thing is it's impressive. You consider under those conditions how Hasselbeck played, and they turned the ball over 3 times. Normally in the playoffs, if you turn it over 3 times, you lose. So you got to be impressed with the way he played and not having his star running back.
20-10 Seahawks over the Redskins. Here are the results of the NFL on CBS Sprint Poll. Which team will win tonight's AFC divisional matchup? 52% of you say it's the New England Patriot. Guess what? Someone's going to come available to the NFL coaching ranks after this game, either Eric Mangini of the Patriots or Gary Kubiak of the Denver Broncos. It is 10-3 Denver at halftime. Thanks for joining us for the Sprint Halftime Report. We'll get you back out to Jim and Phil for the second half after this.
Plus or minus 4%.
CBS Sports presents the Sprint Halftime Report. Sprint, together with Nextel. Yes, you can.
You are single. I am.
CBS Sports presents the Sprint Halftime Report. Sprint, together with Nextel. Yes, you can.
Third quarter approaching, and the Patriots trailing at halftime in a playoff game for the first time since the 2001 snow game with the Raiders. A lot of players getting some good licks in tonight. But can you hear the drum beat for a spot in the AFC Championship game? A mile-high salute and a 50-yarder, and the Broncos are up 7. We'll continue on CBS in a moment. Lead for Denver, and what an exciting turnaround in final 2 minutes of that first half, with the Broncos leading, the turnovers, the 2 fumbles, and that one very costly interference call against Samuel.
Yeah, and that's going to be talked about a lot, the pass interference. But here's the way I look at it. It happened in the first half. You're the New England Patriots. You have time to overcome it. And in football, it's about adversity. So everything that happens now after it, you still have a chance to dictate it.
You see anything out of the numbers that tells you where we're going here with the second half?
Well, it tells me this is a tough game, and both defenses are playing hard, they're playing fast, and it's about turning it over with the speed of both defenses and the power, and what offense can just find a way to get a cheap score or get a big play that gives them a score.
This game brought to you in high definition. Charlie Adams waiting for the Vinatieri kick. Travels to the 10. And well covered. Heath Evans and a couple of others. Don Davis. The key plays again. The fumble inside 2 minutes. Then the interference call. Leading to the Anderson 1-yard plunge behind Carlisle. Then on the return, Hobbs coughs it up. Recovered by Gold, and Elam from 50 gets it over for the 10-3 lead. All of the points tonight off turnovers. From the 22, Plummer to Anderson. And into a pile for 3. And Bonnie, what did you hear at halftime?
Well, Jim, obviously those mistakes gave the Broncos 10 points in the last 10 minutes. And I don't think you needed to be in the locker room to know that the players got one of Bill Belichick's careless, stupid football speeches. He wasn't terribly revealing about his halftime adjustments, only that he told his team they needed to stick together. But remember, guys, what Tom Brady told us. Denver is a team that capitalizes off your mistakes. We'll have to see if those mistakes cost New England a quest for their 3rd straight Super Bowl.
2nd down and 7. Saw Belichick's only playoff loss was back in '94 when he was directing the Browns. His first ever playoff win was over New England when he was the coach at Cleveland.
I remember that game. Then the following week, they had a terrible game against the Pittsburgh Steelers. But what's not terrible now, his defensive front. The Broncos, they can run it on anybody, but they are struggling to get anything consistent or get holes for the running backs to run into.
A couple of carries for Anderson coming out of the locker room for 5 yards. And a 3rd and 5 on the way. Felt the pressure to get it away, and that was intended for Anderson. 3 and out.
Yeah, he felt the pressure of number 59, Roosevelt Colvin. That's the guy that has changed, I think, the defense of the Patriots. Coming from Jake Plummer's left, Roosevelt Colvin, big, physical, but he gives them more speed, and he gives them somebody that can get to the passer from the outside without blitzing.
Grew up in Indianapolis and used to sell popcorn and cotton candy and snow cones at the Dome. As a young kid. Beautiful punt by Sauerbrunn, having a big night. Dwight from the 15-25, spinning, and he's out near the 30. So we'll see the Patriots' first crack at it in the second half when we come back.
It's copyrighted by the NFL for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or of any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the NFL's consent is prohibited.
Denver against quarterbacks in playoff games. The last 2 games against Peyton Manning. He had 1 perfect quarterback rating and another one very nearly that. Brady tonight under 50%. Giving it to Dillon, who slides across the 30. Dominique Foxworth on the tackle. Again, New England without Patrick Pass in uniform tonight, out with a hamstring. He had a big performance in the win here, or the loss here, I should say, back in October.
I'll tell you this, Bonnie Bernstein talked about Bill Belichick's halftime speech. I'll guarantee you it was, we got to run the football a little bit because the blitz has been a big problem for this New England pass offense. Now Tom Brady checking out again. The last time he hit the pass down the field to David Gibbons in this situation.
2nd down and 7, and here comes Lynch. They get it over the top to Graham, and Graham nearly makes it to the 50. Nick Ferguson able to drag down the tight end who was raised right here in Denver.
Well, here's what you do. Up top of the screen, it's going to fake the block and let them come and then release. That's what you do against a blitzing team. Jim, we saw this last week with the Steelers against the Bengals. And when you're blitzing all out, somebody has to go slow and grab the receiver. That time, nobody grabbed Ben Watson.
That's the first catch by a New England tight end. Graham, whose father used to play for the Broncos as a linebacker back in the 70s. And Brady, excellent protection, and that pass incomplete.
I meant to say, Jim, I'm sorry, I meant to say Daniel Graham on that catch instead of Ben Watson.
Brady able to slide away from the pocket. He certainly had all kinds of time on that one. And the big one of those last 4 completions to Andre Davis for 51.
And 2, you know, we talked about all the trick plays you use against the defense. We've seen the screen plays. We saw the block and release. I believe the Patriots have a few more up their sleeve.
2nd down and 10. He spins around and rolls left. Now throws. He goes right back to what he could have had maybe on the last one. This time he gets it with Gibbons.
Well, you know, Jim, why this is so well done and well coordinated is the fact that the last play, Tom Brady tried to go down the field and out and up. Well, this time, to give him time, he gets good protection. They move the quarterback. They sell out with a deep pass. Man, did Brady take another big hit.
Yeah, Myers got him.
But they fake going deep, and it allows David Gibbons to come back and pick up the first down.
At the 37 of Denver, with Kevin Falk returning for the first time since the fumble. He gets the handle, and he spins down to the 32. Gold and Lynch combining on that hit.
I'll tell you what, when you watch Tom Brady as he throws these passes and he takes those big hits, if you can't throw under pressure in the NFL, you won't be a quarterback. It's just, there's no way. Because that's what you got to make, big, tough completions. Tom Brady has done it more this year than probably his whole career, because he's taken more punishment, I think, physically this year.
2nd down and 5, and they run down Dillon for no gain. And it's DJ Williams. Well, Brady, you said it earlier, said it was about as sore as he's ever been after a game when he played here in October. The field is hard. They got to him. Well, they never sacked him, but the pressure on him all night long. The quarterback hurries and knockdowns amounted to about 17 times he hit the deck.
Quarterback sacks are overrated. It's about pressuring them, making them make bad decisions, and throwing off target.
They've only converted once on 3rd down, 1 of 6.
Let's see if they come flying out of here. It's a fake blitz, maybe. I'm wrong again.
Well, they're coming again and wide open. It leaves open Branch. And Darren Williams ends it after a gain of 10. But New England with its first drive of the 2nd half and moving.
I knew I was wrong because the receiver moved and the defender moved with him. So that tells him he had him man-to-man, and they were not going to pull out and play a soft zone defense behind it. Now that's 3 times they have beat the all-out blitz by the Broncos. Can the Broncos stay with it?
To Falk. And in the middle of the field for 2. This is that last play to Branch, is what Brady was talking about last night when he said, fine, bring on the blitz. I like it.
Well, you know, people don't understand that. That takes all the decision-making away from the quarterback. It makes it easy. You got one-on-one, just throw it to the guy. He's either open or he's covered. And like I said earlier, when they play and drop a lot of guys in coverage, then you got to throw between defenders, and sometimes that's when you get in trouble.
This is now the deepest penetration of the night for the Patriots. Dillon returns on 2nd down and 8. Brady, pass brought down by Givens. 3rd and short coming up. That one good for 6.
Boy, it's work, isn't it? It's work. It's work for the Patriots. They're scheming. A lot of good X's and O's. Good coaching. Making tough plays because the defense it's unrelenting.
It's working for every single inch.
They are.
3rd and 2. Pass incomplete. Trying to get it over quickly to Branch.
That's a quarterback's decision. It's a running play or another play called, and if the receiver is open and they're off, Tom Brady views it as being off, so he goes with a quick pass. Even if it's on target, there's nowhere to go.
Dominic Foxworth was right with him. And this brings back Vinatieri for 32 yards. Made his last 14 inside the 40. Little on the hold, the kick. It's a good one. For the 2nd time tonight, Vinatieri true. And it's now 10-6 Broncos. To the 10, this one to the 1. It's Darren Williams. And the rookie, who has given this team quite a bit this season, was out at the 20. Tom Brady talking it up with his offense. Monday, the Late Show. Dave's All New with Martin Lawrence. Dave's All New all this week. Dave out of Broad Ripple High School in Indianapolis. Just like this guy, Roosevelt Colvin. That's right. Tatum Bell is the back for this series. 2nd of the half for Denver. 3 and out the first time. Going deep. And trying to run under it, but incomplete was Putzier. Hawkins running with him.
Not a great matchup, I don't think, for the Denver Broncos, but what it does, it catches Hawkins a little by surprise, and the throw right on target by Jake Plummer. One thing he can do, he can run Jake Plummer, as Mike Shanahan said, when he got him a couple years ago, two things surprised him. The strength of his arm, because this guy can fire it down the field, and how well he can throw on the run, the best. And I mean, I watch them all. I think he's the best in the NFL throwing on the run.
Second down and 10. There he is on the run, Phil. Look at this pass. Yeah, it was in and out of the arms. And no flag. It was Samuel on the coverage. Lee.
Well, I was glad that he did it. Didn't just make me backtrack all the way by throwing a bad one. But what he does is it's different from most quarterbacks in these offenses that run like Denver's. He goes right and left. Boy, perfect form. Gets his body out of the way. Throws off his right foot. It's right on target, just good coverage. But Mike Shanahan said he's worked with many quarterbacks. Most only go to the side of the throwing hand. Jake Plummer goes left as well as he goes right.
Third down and 10. Good pass to Smith. And the Broncos have a first down near the 40.
Good pass, but I'll tell you what. Jake Plummer, the offensive line, watch what they do. It is just good contact. Steps up and really shows patience and waits and doesn't panic and puts it right in the middle of Rod Smith's chest. That's hard to do. When you know when you're going against a good defense, they got some pretty good pass rushers. Can you stay calm? That time he did.
They were looking at a second straight 3 and out. And a momentum change, but they picked up the first. And that's Anderson plodding along as Roosevelt, Colvin, and others finish it after 1, maybe 2. Here's the NFL.com poll of the night. Let's talk about dynasties. Which one was the biggest dynasty? You can cast your vote at NFL.com.
Tough time running the football. They are going against, I don't know way to say it, just a big, hard group of veterans. Tough, talented, everything.
Down an 8, and Plummer again will take off before the middle is plugged by Vrabel.
Yeah, Mike Vrabel. Outside linebacker, Jim. Injuries, now they got him inside. Wasn't crazy about it when he first got, because there's a lot of action that happens to that middle linebacker. But what did Roosevelt Colvin and Willie McGinnis say to us last night? He likes it now because he's like the quarterback. And Mike Vrabel is Mike Shanahan said, he's a jack of all trades on defense, and he masters them all. So underappreciated, undervalued. I can't say it enough. And I know you hear that a lot on telecast, but it's the truth about number 50.
Third down and 6. And they're coming in, and that's the first sack of the night on either side. And it's Vrabel. You said he's like a quarterback as a linebacker, but he's also like a tight end.
Yeah, he's mean too. I'll say that. Big 50 coming in, fakes it. Oh no, Cooper Carlisle goes for the old one step back, and Mike Vrabel makes Jake Plummer step up, and then he gets smashed by Trevor Price and other defensive linemen.
Plummer had no chance.
I'm sorry, Richard Seymour.
Seymour and also McGinnis, who had the 4.5 sacks against Jacksonville. Very little happening for the Broncos in this quarter offensively. Sauber with a low spiral to the 8. White slips back up, 21-yard line. That's all. 10-6. Broncos lead. Brady coming back out.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Subway. Celebrate this year by keeping your resolutions. Stop into Subway restaurants tonight. Subway, eat fresh. And by Citi, credit card and financial tools to help you live richly.
The MetLife plane teaming up with CBS providing aerial coverage here in the Mile High City. First down, New England, back at its 22. Brady tries to step away from the heat and hits his man at the 50. That's Troy Brown. And he ran away from Darren Williams, the old veteran, goes for 33.
Yeah, Tom Brady, he alerts everybody it's the blitz. John Lynch is picked up. Look at the blocking up front. Then Brady sidesteps a defender and down the field. Darren Williams cannot stay with Troy Brown.
And Deion Branch comes over for a little assist. Take that chunk out of there. Picking up a chunk of yardage for sure, his first catch.
Patriots settling down and really getting the hang of the Denver blitz.
Back to Brady. Brady now fires. Man open, 30-yard line. It's Branch. And Lynch cuts off the angle, forcing him out at the 19. Got away from Champ Bailey.
Usually, Jim, the flea flicker. Usually receivers go deep down the field and make moves. Watch this time. Well, they think, well, okay, we won't fool Denver. We just sit in the open hole. Really well thought out and well designed. When you do a little trick play, it always doesn't have to go for a touchdown. Tom Brady looks deep. It's not there. The outlet receiver is in between the defense. And a good throw by Brady.
They picked up 59 yards over the last 2 plays. Staying up top, it's Gibbons. Stretching it out near the 10. Now Wilson holding on for the tackle.
Over the years, we've talked to the Patriots many times, and they get in games like this. And now they've kind of turned the emotion and the physical play to their side. And Tom Brady even says it. We are willing to fight longer than the teams we play. And I thought we saw some of that last week. Can Denver continue to fight tonight?
In the red zone, it's Dillon. Shaken and picking up the first and goal at the 5. Benjamin Watson helping his running back on that left side with a block.
Jim, it's like back in high school. If you remember these days, never pick a fight with a guy that's not worried about winning and losing, right? He just wants the action. And that's kind of the way I feel when I watch New England play. They love the action. They like it that it's this way tonight. They're thriving in it. And another good drive by their offense.
Driving, trying to take the lead. First and goal. Dillon makes one move just to get back to the line of scrimmage with a flag.
False start, number 83 of the offense. The 5-yard penalty. It's still first down.
Their 4th false start of the night.
You know, I didn't mean to startle you. When I said that, you gave me a look like
I thought you were picking a fight.
You mean you didn't pick any fights in high school? You didn't pick any?
No, I got along with everybody.
You know, you're 6'4". You could impose your will.
Nobody wanted to mess with me. You know that. First and goal back at the 10. They'll go to the gun. Dillon set out wide to the right. Brady fires. Has his man just back to the 5 with Branch. Foxworth knocks him down right away.
Tell you what, you see the success against the blitz that New England has had when the Broncos don't blitz. Tom Brady has a lot of time. And even when there's tight coverage, because of the time, he still sticks it in there.
115 yards passing first half, 121 in this quarter. Needing 5 for the lead. Over to Gibbons, he can't hold on. That play went for a touchdown in the AFC Championship game against Pittsburgh last year.
I tell you, this would have been close too. Tom Brady makes a good throw. It's a little inside. And that was going to be, Champ Bailey was coming up so fast that would have been a tough tackle. Good memory, you're right. Last year.
Gibbons says, give me one more try. Make it 7 straight games with a touchdown reception in the playoffs. Third and goal. Coming after Grady, gets it away, he's picked. He's picked in the end zone. It's Bailey. Bailey taken off, and he gets away from the one man who had a shot at him. Talk about a game changer. Bailey, is he in or not? Running it back 100 yards before Watson Watson comes in at the last minute. He got away near midfield from Kevin Falk, and they're going to rule him down at the 1. Knocked out, ball knocked out at the 1. It was Ferguson who was putting pressure on Brady, and he got picked off by Bailey.
Tom Brady feels the pressure from the backside. He moves away from it. Very good coverage by Champ Bailey. Goes in front, and it is a foot race, and the Patriots never give up. Kevin Falk almost makes the tackle.
Intercepts it 2 yards deep, and a tight end, Benjamin Watson, races all the way down the field after the 100-yard return. I tell you, it almost looked like Bailey was pulling up, like he had no idea Watson was closing in on him.
Yeah, you always got to look behind, and Bill Belichick should challenge this. That football looked like it went in front of the pylon and through the end zone. It's too big of a play. You got to throw the flag.
Yeah, it's out. It's out. Challenge issued.
How many times have you seen it? The ball, you get careless with it before you get to the end zone.
Leon Lett.
Jim, I see it almost every week in the NFL. I know it's an unbelievable run. Champ Bailey
New
lets
England
down.
has challenged the ruling on the field.
Yeah, he's definitely
on the fumble.
He's
the 1 yard
definitely
line.
not going full speed at the end. It's amazing though how Watson, the tight end, comes all the way down. I think Bailey was just shocked.
Well, I think he's out of gas. There's no question. As fast as he is, you see him standing straight up.
Oh, this is huge, though.
That is close.
That
was a
huge.
different angle. My eye told me that angle, it looked like it might have went in front of the pylon. When we saw it from behind, I would have said, hey, that went forward.
So you think this is clearly a case, though, for Bailey of just fatigue?
Absolutely. Hard to tell. It was ruled out inside the 1 yard line. If that goes out of the back of the end zone, remember, if it goes inside the pylon, into the end zone, out of bounds, it will be New England's ball at their own 20 coming out.
Oh, you're talking about almost a sure 7 for Denver at the 1, or New England getting the ball back at the 20.
What do you think?
Well, I don't see anything conclusive on that one right there. It looked like it maybe went right over the pylon.
I'll tell you what you do. Where does it land? Keep your eye on the football. Oh, we can't see it because you could draw a line from his hand to the football where it lands on the ground, and maybe we could come up with some thought. You like that? See, I paid attention in geometry.
We were just talking about that yesterday, and you said none of that stuff you ever thought applied to real life, the geometry.
Well, this is different.
Okay.
There it is.
Well,
oh, that's a good shot.
Okay, so
you can see where the ball. And if I did it, I would draw that line. That wasn't a very good draw by me, but that angle, it makes you think that it did go out in the field of play.
I think what was interesting on that last look is the reaction of Troy Brown. Watch number 80 behind the play, and it's like he instantly thinks about this. This could be, watch his reaction.
See that? Yes. I wish I could draw a better line, but that is a really good shot of where it went out, and it does, well, it softens it a little bit, I guess you say, where you could make a case where the football belongs inside the 1.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field stands. New England is charged a timeout.
You know, they had to issue the challenge, but there's just nothing conclusive. That's enough visual evidence to overturn it.
Yeah, and you know, I'm up here trying to say a lot of things, and you're right, Jim. Where it lands, it's just, there's no way you can say that this football went on the other side of the pylon. So you have to stick with what is called on the field. So that's a good job by Jeff Triplett.
Bailey was running out of gas, but if he had it to do over again, he would have protected that ball a little better. He had it dropped so low,
Well, this will be another play, Jim, that all NFL teams will put on their training reels when they go to training camp. He wasn't showboating, he was just tired. Don't showboat, get in the end zone, then celebrate.
Second longest return to George Teague, the all-time record. Broncos. One play later are in. Mike Anderson. By the way, lost in all of this, Brady had not been picked off in a playoff game since the Super Bowl in Houston 2 years ago. Carolina's Reggie Howard got him in the third quarter of that one. And just as the Patriots are threatening to go in at one end, there's a touchdown the other way. 17-6, Denver. Mike Anderson in for the second time tonight. Another mile-high salute and an 11-point lead. All of Denver's points tonight off turnovers. The Falk fumble, the Hobbs fumble, who's back in as a returner, and the Brady pick, all leading to the 17 points. And Hobbs getting a second chance. And he is out to the 30. Sapp has him down.
Jim, let's look at Ben Watson. I know it doesn't mean anything, but this is a great example. Play until the whistle blows. Here he is up top. Watch him run.
That is impressive.
He never slows down.
This is BB-esque. Don Beebe, who had chased down Leon Lett in a Super Bowl.
That was something for Ben Watson. A tight end. He's about as fast as any wide receiver on the Patriots, though. And he showed that speed, hustle, determination on that play.
Belichick said he and Hobbs were the most improved players on New England this year. Over to Branch. Got a big night going here. Branch about 2 yards shy of a first. The 7th catch. Biggest deficit for Belichick in the postseason at New England. Right now.
Well, that was a Jim to go that last play. Champ Bailey was on a blitz. The Patriots again saw it, picked up 8 yards.
Dillon, some early action in the backfield, able to work out a 1-yard gain as we come to the end of the third. With the score, Denver 17, New England 6. We'll return to Invesco Field at Mile High after this message and a word from your local station. Quarter to go, and then one team will be one step away from the Super Bowl. Jim Nantz with Phil Simms and Bonnie Bernstein. And Corey Dillon cutting outside, a big gainer into Denver territory. And it was Watson who sprung him with the big block on that right side. Look at this on the sideline. That was McGinnis shoving away Larry Izzo.
That's okay. You know, that's not a big deal. Pushing and shoving in words in a game of this magnitude and this tension, be forgotten tomorrow. I think that's what's going to get us no matter who I am.
Kevin Falk back in 1st and 10, and Brady plants the feet, fires it man open, and Davis lets it slip away. That last carry by Dillon went for 18 yards. Only one of his previous 175 rushes had gone for 15 yards. And here in the thin air, to the oxygen.
This New England offense, it has it going. That time the receiver wide open. Tom Brady missed him. Making an awful lot of plays here in the second half.
Second down and 10. It's the screen. Ball. First down. Stepping out, nearly untouched. Running away from Ferguson.
Well, it's almost what we saw earlier to Daniel Graham. This time they just do it to Falk. They're going to let him come to this side. He's going to fake the block. Watch him fake. Oh, I missed you. Throw it to him. Deception. Well thought out. And again, I don't know how many screens or drop passes or little dumps that's been tonight, but almost every one of them has worked and worked well. That's how you stop a team from blitzing.
First down, 31. Fake the fall. Right back to him out of the backfield, and a good tackle by Wilson prevents a big gainer. That goes for 6. Tomorrow on CBS, years after a high school student falls to his death, a mysterious clue leads to a classroom full of murder suspects. Don't miss a new episode of the hit drama Cold Case tomorrow on CBS America's #1 network.
Doesn't this game remind you a little bit of the regular season meeting? Denver up top, and then they're just holding on as the New England offense just keeps marching down the field.
They were down 28-3 in that game. Final was 28-20. Dillon coming back in after going for the air, and he's only back to the line of scrimmage. Al Wilson having some kind of year and a big night tonight. And a hurry up look here. Look at the Patriots. Boy, Denver looks caught off guard, and now they signal timeout.
They were.
Timeout. First of the half by the Broncos. Patriots have outgained Denver more than 2-1, but down 17-6. 3rd and 4 coming. Deep in Denver territory. Brady down the field, and he had Troy Brown by a step from Lynch.
That's a couple times tonight. Tom Brady has had receivers going in that direction of the field, and he's overthrown. You'd almost wonder, does the football really carry a little more as a quarterback? I played out here once. It was a long time ago. I can't remember. But open receiver, it just gets away from Tom Brady.
43-yard try for Vinatieri. 2 for 2 on the night. Vinatieri just better hook in a hurry. And not soon enough. Not enough. No good. Wide right. It remains Broncos by 11. By just a sliver.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Guinness Draft Stout. Drink responsibly. Brilliant. Burger King, who reminds you to have it your way. And by the new Sprint. Sprint. Yes, you can.
Broncos take over from the point of the field goal attempt, 33-yard line. Avoids the sack. That was Warren dragging him down, incomplete. And that attempt by Vinatieri, so huge, it would have been a one-possession game had he made it. And you talk about hidden yardage. Let's not forget about, well, the Bailey run back, but the 2 touchdowns by Denver tonight, one off the Falk fumble, and just a play later off the pass interference, they had to go a yard. Yeah. And then off the return, another 1 yard, if you will, drive for a touchdown.
Well, missing that field goal by Vinatieri, it eased the pressure on this Denver Broncos offense.
2nd and 10. Around throwing on the first 2 downs, and they've got a first with Lee at the 50.
Jake Plummer missed this exact same play and throw in the first quarter. He was a little too quick. Again, he gets good pass protection. This takes quite a while. And he puts nice touch on the football. And Ashley Lee goes up, makes the good catch, and it gets them a first down, takes time off the clock, and changes field position. All important facts in this game.
It's either been Smith or Lee most of the night. Sear thrown in for good measure. Now this, again, with every carry like that, another 30 seconds closer to the AFC Championship game. Wednesday on CBS, see why over 63 million viewers have made Criminal Minds this season's most watched new drama. Mandy Patinkin, Thomas Gibson, they star in a new episode of Criminal Minds Wednesday here on America's #1 network. Sidelines for this snap, 2nd down and 4. Second straight carry. Will have to earn about a 2-yard gain or 3 maybe coming up to extend the drive.
Yep, pressure on this defense for New England now. They got to stop them now because you need 2 possessions to tie or win the game. And time on the clock will be a big factor if you let Denver get a first down this time.
There's Eric Mangini. Focus of a lot of tension this week about the Jets' job. Offensive coordinator. And he's been with Belichick for over a decade. Timeout called. Denver. 3rd and 2 when they come out of the break. Leading 17-6 in the 4th. Mike Shanahan won 2 Super Bowl titles his first 4 years here, but no playoff wins the last 6 years. As Plummer with a flag thrown comes up, still 2 yards shy of the first. And ready to give it a hold call.
And keep those microphones away from them.
Holding number 66 to the offense. That penalty is declined. 4th down.
Patriots refuse it. 4th and 2. And out comes Sauerbrunn. Stellar night for the punter for the Broncos, pinning New England back inside the 10 a couple of times, plus forcing a fumble that led to a field goal.
Nobody back for the Patriots. They're going to send everybody in the punt rush.
Trying to come in from the side. G.G. Wilson had to pull up. He was trying to time it just right. And Joe Brown fumbles. Ball loose. Broncos have it. Could be the clincher if they have it. They'll take over at the 15. That's Mike Leach with the recovery, the man who snapped it to start the play.
The Patriots trying to catch him off guard, trying to get the blitz. Comes from the top. Troy Brown came up and then he runs back. As he runs back to get underneath the punt, does he get settled underneath it? Not well enough, and I believe it's one of the reasons why he dropped it.
Boy, how about the Patriots' old reliables? Vinatieri missing a field goal. Brady having a pick go 100 yards back, setting up a touchdown, and now Brown with a fumble. And Falk with a fumble.
Well, it's Jim. There's still 10 minutes to go. If you hold them, they kick a field goal. You're still down 2 scores. The Patriots offense, we've seen the whole second half. They can move it. So you got to know that. Know the situation.
2nd down, 7. Snapped up is Anderson. No, he's still going. They didn't rule him down. They didn't whistle him down back at the 11, and he advances it to the 5.
Well, Mike Anderson doesn't stop. He doesn't hear a whistle, and he just keeps going. Nothing there. Keeps fighting for the tough yards, and nobody on the defensive side can get their arms around him.
Watch Alexander, like a matador, go right on through.
Mike Anderson, Mike Shanahan said he's the running back that plows it up in there and can soften a defense up.
Ron Dane comes in for the first time tonight. And right you are. Plummer rolling, throwing, hitting, touchdown, Rod Smith. Plummer with the 4-yard touchdown toss to Rod Smith. And the Broncos in front 23-6 with the extra point to come.
Yeah, you put Ron Dane in. You don't want to hand the ball to him cold. But Jake Plummer, boy, that was a nice little throw on the run, right on target.
And the Broncos 3 touchdowns tonight. And flags are thrown as they come bowling over Mike Leach. 3 touchdown drives tonight by the Broncos. 1 play, 3 plays.
Start. False start. Number 97 of the offense. The 5-yard penalty. Still to try.
Tim, you look at this game. Salbrone, his tackle, that was a forced turnover. Champ Bailey's interception, forced it. Their play made it happen. But Troy Brown's fumble this time, that was an unforced mistake by the New England Patriots. Turnovers, yeah, you don't want them, but sometimes you can't help it because the other team, they take it from you. And the Denver defense did take a couple away from the Patriots tonight.
Rod Smith scored against the Patriots back in October, scores tonight. Belichick this week, sizing up the game, said when Rod Smith goes into the Hall of Fame in Canton, he should thank us for the stats he put up against New England for years. That's what he thinks of Rod Smith. Plummer with the hookup to the dependable veteran for so many years, Rod Smith.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by IBM. Become an on-demand business. IBM can help. And by TD Waterhouse, the alternative to higher-priced brokers.
Well, coming up, the Subway postgame show. Greg, Dan, Shannon, and Boomer. Full recap of today's playoff action, all coming up on the Subway postgame show. There were only 2 teams in the league this year that did not lose at home: Seattle and Denver. Seattle already won today. Broncos 8:38 away from winning and advancing. Davis down to the 23. Well, turnovers so crucial. Ever since the final 2 minutes of the first half.
And Jim, just to go back to it, as you watch it, you see what's happened tonight with the turnovers. A lot of that is just the Denver players, the speed, the ferocity at which they hit. That's what caused some of those turnovers.
Brady going for a big one. Branch wide open, heading to the right. Look how quickly New England can strike inside the 10, and Branch out at the 3. Nick Ferguson, who got away from Ferguson and goes for 73. It's the longest pass play of the season for the Pats.
Tom Brady waits. Oh my gosh, does he get hit by Gerard Warren? But Deion Branch right down the middle of the field. And the Denver defense, they were back. Branch on the inside just keeps going. And the defense is back to prevent a big play.
And the officials having a word.
There's a player on the player down.
That's Al Wilson. He was chasing Branch. Boy, did Brady get pile driven after the throw by Warren. Had his eyes closed.
No, yeah, but as he hits the ground, he does what all quarterbacks do. Raise your head. Where's the ball?
I mean, let me see it, Gerard. Let me see it. That's the longest pass play for Brady in his playoff career. 337 yards on the night, Phil. I'm sorry, 222 in this half.
Denver had a defense on that was built and designed to stop that exact play. But because Tom Brady, it took so long, and he waited, the Deion Branch outran the coverage down the middle of the field.
So Wilson, real leader for this team on defense, Pro Bowler, goes out. Cox is brought in. Extra defensive back, Gold and Williams, the two linebackers. And first and goal, Brady over the top, back to the end zone, and Gibbons has a touchdown catch for the 7th consecutive postseason game. It's one off a record.
When you're down inside the 10-yard line, the back of the end zone, probably the safest place to throw the football, and it seems like it's always open. The Patriots put receivers in front of the end zone. The defense comes up. Tom Brady finds a big open spot for David Gibbons.
Don't give up on New England quite yet. 77 yards in 33 seconds. They go for the PAT. Vinatieri adds it. Gibbons hanging out back in the end zone. First touchdown of the night for New England. Only John Stallworth ahead of Gibbons on the consecutive games with a touchdown reception in the postseason. And the Patriots go Branch deep. He's over 150 yards in receiving. And then Gibbons, 2 plays. That's all.
You're right. 8:05 to go. New England has 2 timeouts. They could possibly and probably will get at least 2 possessions.
They were starting to, you could imagine around here, they were starting to say, okay, now let's see, how's this work? If Pittsburgh wins tomorrow, we'll host them next week. But if the Colts win, we're going to Indianapolis for the 3rd straight year. But hold on, folks.
Jim, not only the fans, can they re-energize as they change their thought process? Can the Broncos re-energize? They thought it was over.
To the 10 and Adams. Brought down by Bantakane, 23. Speaking of Colts and the Steelers, 1 o'clock tomorrow. Peyton Manning and the Indy Express take on the Steelers fresh off their win at Cincinnati last week. It all starts at 12 noon with Greg and Dan and Shannon Boomer. The NFL today, the divisional weekend continues. Steelers and Colts. It should be a dandy tomorrow right here on CBS.
Can't wait to watch it. Can't wait to hear it. Get to hear Dick Enberg, Dan Dierdorf.
Armin Katang.
Big, well, Armin be looking good on the sideline probably, or trying to.
He faked to Anderson, and wide open down the field is Smith, and he finds him. Puts on the brakes before going out of bounds, and all the way down to the 35. Boy, did they cross up the Patriots, who were just certain they were going to run at that time.
Well, you said it right, Jim. They're expecting run, and Mike Shanahan, hey, we saw it early on the 4th down call. Not afraid. Jake Plummer on the run. He's careful with the throw. and that's what he should have been. Wide open, takes a little bit off, and Rod Smith secures the catch and stays in bounds.
He spun away from Hobbs. You know, Plummer knew it. He could have probably run for 20, or he could go for the bigger one, which he did, and it nets 42. Now they run. Anderson coming on in the second half. And we reach 7 minutes.
Jim, that's the play call. That's a game-winning play call by Mike Shanahan. Again, it's tough to do it. You're up 11 points. You want to run the football, take time off the clock. No such thing. He knows better. That was the time to strike to get the big play, and he took advantage of it.
Brady hoping this defense somehow can get off the field in a hurry with a stop. Plummer will milk it all the way down to a second on the down clock. Driving the legs. Anderson 1 yard short. 3rd and 1. It'll move it inside of 6 minutes.
If they run it here, pick up a first down, another big moment. Takes more time off the clock. You see the score. They're up 11.
New England with 2 timeouts. If they do hold them back here, and the field goal try follows by Elam. Again, it's still just a 2-possession game. And look at the effort by Anderson. McGinnis didn't quite have the feet set, the legs anchored to make the hit. Kyle Johnson threw a block, and Mike Anderson on 3 straight carries moves the chains.
Yeah, good job. You know what it is? This is a good job by this Denver offensive line. Staying on the blocks just a little longer and getting a valuable yard or 2. And now, if Denver only gets a couple yards on first down, if you're New England, you call a timeout.
Tatum Bell back in. Some fresh legs, but unable to get him going. As Wilford awaited at the line of scrimmage, and Seymour no gain. Pretty good night overall for Jake Plummer. He got picked in that first half by Asante Samuel.
Yeah, Jim, he's made good decisions really all night long. He didn't force it. And that was like I said, that was a lot tougher than he made it look.
Guess who's here? That's his father, Steve. Down from Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. Jake raised in the mountains surrounding Boise. And now the Patriots giving chase to Plummer. Puts it down to the 20.
Well, that's what good alert running quarterbacks can do. Instead of trying to outrun the defender in front of you, they backtrack and create space. Then he took off and picked up a couple good yards. And he didn't throw the football away, which keeps the clock running. Well, you see Jake Plummer's dad, and you know the Beards, they run in the family.
You know where they come from.
Yeah, except the father's is a lot neater and trimmed and better looking.
Yes. Looking a little Ernest Hemingway-like, while his son is trying to write a pretty good script here himself. They're moving closer and closer. 3:24 to go to the AFC title game.
See, if I was the Patriots, I would have called a timeout after the first down to make the Broncos rethink what they were going to do. So by not calling a timeout, you let them run the football and you let them eat up an extra minute or 2.
So the Patriots do take the time, leaving them with 1 clock stoppage, but 4th and 2 on the way, and right now Shanahan not showing any signs of bringing out Elam. Although he's loosening up back near the 50.
Well, I don't know. This is a tough situation. I could see, boy, Mike Shanahan's really talking to Jake Plummer. I could see A lot of stuff going on. Maybe try to get them off sides. I'm guessing they won't go for it. Of course, I've been so accurate on my guesses.
You have been. Tonight
Well,
you have been.
I've hit a couple, but
very high conversion rate tonight.
I think they'll try to draw them off sides. And if they do go for it, it just shows you the courage that Mike Shanahan has, and he's going to try to win the game right now.
He knows the first down will do it. Patriots limited to the one timeout.
He just alerted the official. He might want to be alert for the timeout. Yep, he's coming down the line.
So 9, and there it is, 9 on the down clock, and Shanahan calls the timeout from the sideline.
Yeah, he went to see the line judge, Jeff Seaman, and said, be alert. I'm going to call the timeout.
Well, the last playoff win, John Elway at quarterback, taking on the Falcons in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, you don't think they've heard that much around here. How many times do you think that article's been written? Well, you know, Mike Shanahan hadn't won a playoff game since John Elway left. He's probably quite aware of that, but
still some holdovers from that team. Keith Burns, Elam, Lepsis, the left tackle, Nayland, outstanding center, Trevor Price, and of course Rod Smith.
Everybody on that list is a tremendously important part to the Denver Broncos.
Of course, they had not had a playoff game at home since the AFC title game back in that '98 season. Elam with the kick, and it's good from 34. Two-possession game, though. It remains at 27-13.
You know, and you know what I like too? Just it's a little thing, but when they tried to draw them off sides, and if I even guessed it right, and New England's guessing it. But you know what? It doesn't matter. You still go through the motions. What if you get lucky and it does happen? So, Mike, just play every play and try to maximize every position you get during a game.
Cancel Brady's season? Well, not quite to that point.
That's right. 2 touchdowns, 3:20 to go.
Man who has never lost in the postseason. Started 2 bowl games, if you want to go way back, at Michigan. Win-win. The last time he lost a playoff game was his senior year at Sarah High School out in California in a baseball playoff game. He was a catcher his senior year in baseball.
I was going to ask you, well, what about high school? So you came up with it.
It wasn't football. Football team didn't make the postseason that year. They were 6-4. Of course, my favorite story about him back in high school was
couldn't win a big game back then.
Well, when he was a freshman, he didn't even start on the freshman team to win 0-9.
For that freshman coach is proud.
Davis from the goal line, running it out with a flag. That'll back up the Patriots near the 10.
Illegal block in the back. Number 51, receiving team. It's a 10-yard penalty. First down.
Bonnie, you're on the sidelines. What's the mood down there?
Well, I'll tell you, Jim, it's a mood you haven't seen from New England's side in a really long time. Tom Brady, when he was on the bench area, kept looking at the clock, just hoping, wishing there was a little more time he could bring his team back. Troy Brown has been a cornerstone for this team for so long, still inconsolable about muffing that return. Richard Seymour, though, trying to implore upon his team, despite the score, we still have to play with heart. And you can tell this Patriots team's trying to do that.
There's no doubt about that, particularly the guy who's about to take the snap. Al Wilson, by the way, shaken up before he's back in. And he's stretching out. Threatening the blitz, now backing away. Brady got all kinds of time. The pass behind Givens. Givens remains on the field again in the AFC playoffs. Pittsburgh The last team in, the 6th seed, takes on Indianapolis. Boy, are the Steelers playing good football right now, and the Colts must rev up the engines after, well, what's been certainly a most trying month. But even if you go past some of that, they didn't have a meaningful game their last couple of weeks, and now they must try to get that going again. After playing, well, through the first 13 weeks of the season, if you will, it's been as good a football as maybe you've ever seen in the modern era for one team in a regular season.
You know, Jim, first off, it looks like, I hope he's okay, David Gibbons, on the field. But the Colts, they played as well to start a season that I've seen in a long time. They were very seldom even challenged. And if Pittsburgh beats them tomorrow, it'll take almost an out-of-body experience, because I think the Colts will be ready. I think they'll be strong, and they'll pick up right where they left off when they started the season 13-0.
Of course, we were with the Steelers in their company last week for the wild card game, and they did recognize that if they got ahead, looked ahead, there were some things that would be different this time around.
Yes.
First off, Roethlisberger's health.
He's back. That's right. That was his first start back. Tough position to go. And what was the other you were going to say?
The snap count, the silent count inside the dome.
They've heard the noise. They'll be a little better prepared for it second time around.
2nd down and 10 for Brady. Another deep ball into triple coverage, and John Lynch has it. Brady was decked again. He's intercepted for a 2nd time, and John Lynch secures it for the Broncos. All but ends it.
Tom Brady knew he had to take a chance. John Lynch is not going to let the receiver get behind him. There are 3 defenders there. And Tom Brady, when you lose football games and you get hit a lot, it just makes it twice as bad for you the following day when it comes to being sore. And John Lynch, he played a terrific game tonight.
John Lynch, who visited with New England a couple of years back during free agency, talked about how he had such great respect for them. We met with him this week. And that's Anderson for about 4. He talked about how selfless they were, and how at Tampa, after they won the Super Bowl, we thought, he said, we could win another one, but it's just so hard to do, and to think that they've done it 3 out of 4.
Yeah, well, you know what I like what he said? He went up there, he visited. John Lynch he's a football person, been around it, knows all the stuff that's important to how to win games. And he goes, everything you say about the Patriots, he goes, there's no myths. It's real, especially. And he got a chance to go up there and really hear it and see it during one offseason.
Thought about going there and signed here. Mike Anderson into the secondary to the 40, and will reach the 2-minute warning. Broncos on their way to victory and the AFC Championship game, and we'll continue in a moment. Just 2 minutes left, and it looks like this remarkable run for the Patriots is about to come to an end.
Yeah, and Jim, I'll say this. They went down fighting like champs. They were valiant tonight. Everything went against them in the bounce of the ball, losing the fumbles, the interception, but they hung in there and they kept fighting, and we saw everything that they're about. Why they were champions, why they've won 3 Super Bowls out of the last 4 seasons. It was on display right here tonight in Denver.
Kneel down by Plummer. When you think about not only the fact that they're going out here with a chance at 3-peat coming to an end, Subway coming up next. You know, there have been 7 or 8 teams that had, going into a season, the goal of trying to become the first to 3-peat, but none of those teams ever made it back to a Super Bowl. When you think of Tom Brady and his first playoff loss, and I think most of all you think of Bill Belichick and the things that he's had to face this year. One more kneel down to think of the loss going into the year of his coordinators. And then another year with so many injuries, you can't even begin to count them all. But then one thing that he hasn't spoken a whole lot about, the loss late in the season. Find out that he had lost his true hero in life. His father, Steve, passed away on the eve of the Saints game. And Belichick came to work that day, never even told his team about it until after the game. We were talking to Brady last night about how Belichick, a couple of weeks later, so pridefully played back tapes of Steve Belichick when he was a young man playing football and passed on all that knowledge to his son. That will do it. That's the last snap. Shanahan and Belichick, they go back to that Super Bowl you starred in, Phil. They were matched up as coordinators. Offensive coordinator Shanahan, Broncos. Defensive coordinator Belichick, Giants. Two of the great ones.
Tremendous battle. It really was. Tremendous physical, the mental part. It was a pleasure to be here to watch it.
The Denver Broncos, largely unrecognized most of the season. They were never the big story. It was about the Colts. It was about everybody else. But their 13-3 season. And now they are one step away from a Super Bowl. They are going to the AFC Championship game. Phil, it's been a pleasure.
It has, Jim. Thank you. See you next week.
Look forward to it. For Phil and Bonnie Bernstein, the crew of Lance Barrow, Mike Arnold, everybody here in Denver. Subway postgame show coming up.
The Subway postgame show is sponsored by Subway. Celebrate this new year by keeping your resolutions. Subway, eat fresh.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to our New York studios and the Subway postgame show. I'm Greg Gumbel. So, with the final score in Denver, 27-13 Broncos over New England, the AFC playoff picture looks like this. Denver advances to next week's AFC championship game. They will play the winner of tomorrow's game between the Pittsburgh Steelers and Indianapolis. Now, there is a developing story out of Indianapolis tonight. Colts starting cornerback Nick Harper is questionable for that game against the Steelers tomorrow. He was reportedly cut on the knee with a knife by his wife Danielle, who is being held in a county jail this evening on charges of battery with a deadly weapon and criminal recklessness. Meanwhile, in the NFC today, the Seattle Seahawks moved on to the NFC Championship game with a 20-10 win over the Washington Redskins, and they will await the winner of tomorrow's game between the Carolina Panthers and the Chicago Bears. We will see you at noon Eastern Time here in our studios on Sunday, the NFL Today, and that will precede